I decided just to respond by starting the stream. Life hack, start the stream. I appreciate you saying that. I actually got HelloFresh this week, which this isn't sponsored or anything like that. I just wanted to try it because, like, why not? And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm like 3 meals in of the 6 that I got, so I'm halfway. And they're all really good. I think the one that I had today was probably the least good one, but it wasn't like bad. It was just simple compared to what I had before. And yeah, I have a face cam now. I've done 2 streams with one. I did Saturday was one where I read my 13-year-old story, which that one was a hoot. That one was wild. All the VODs are on YouTube, by the way. And then the other one I did was for my Dragon Age stream on Sunday, which I ate on stream, and I'm never doing that again. Oh my god, it was awful. I'll never do it again. But yeah. I wanted to do the face cam. I don't know. I just felt like some of my reactions to the games aren't as strong. Like, my voice can't just carry it. You're so brave. I mean, I don't know. I used to be like a public figure, quote unquote, when I was younger. I wanted to do like YouTube videos and stuff like that, so I'm used to putting my face out there. I just haven't really done it in a long time, so I was just like, fuck it, whatever. If it helps the stream, then I think it's worth it. And I'm wearing like my pajamas, and then I have this little blanket covered over me. That's my like outfit, well, for the face cam, but also specifically eating on stream. Oh my gosh, yeah. mistake I'll never do it again. It was not good. But I was hungry, and I was eating BLT, so I guess it could have been worse. It could have been like slurping up spaghetti on stream, but no. And I was also very irritated that stream too, because I was going through the worst part of the game, and it was fine. The mukbang life is not for you. I see. No, I don't think that's gonna be my kind of content, but power to those who do. Power. You know what? Since we've started, I think I'm going to go through all my theories starting now. I actually have quite a few, more than I thought that I did. I re-listened to the last VOD of the previous Our Wonderland stream, and I had a lot of thoughts. I don't think my theories are as outlandish as the ones that I did last week, but they're still kind of all over the place. Iggy is the only one with the power to either reverse time or loop it and not die. I just had this thought. I was like, well, maybe he just has this innate power, and this is it. Like it covers his friend group. I think it's a little ridiculous. It was just kind of like a random ass thought. The more that I think about it, I don't think it makes that much sense, really, in the context of what we know. But just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. That's the joy method of doing everything. Gidget and Spider, same letters. Okay, so not a theory, just an observation, and we were making all the jokes last week. You were here, where we were just like, Gidget, Spider, what does it mean? What does it mean? Me and Gray were like cooking. and I realized, I was like, Gidget and Spider have the same amount of letters. This can't be a coincidence. I'm on to something. And that was it. I just wanted to, and I thought that the D was in the same place in both words, but no, it wasn't. Oh well. Eating Genzo, getting rid of the last bit of Iggy's humanity. I'm still stuck on Act 3. I can't move past Act 3 no matter how long I go. And that was my observation, was that by eating Genzo, it's a great symbolism for Iggy like crossing over to the other side and like taking the last step to being like the worst. And I don't know, I felt like that was something I didn't acknowledge enough. And then I even said like getting rid of the anchor, floating into the endless sea, cutting off the weight to float into space or whatever. Like Genzo is the one thing keeping Iggy like humane in Act 3, and then like as soon as he's gone, it just goes all downhill. And I really like that. I really like that a lot. I like that Genzo serves that purpose. And I don't know, I was just sitting on it. When landing in Wonderland, initially, I skimmed over the fact that when Iggy wakes up after falling, he thinks about Genzo making breakfast in his apartment. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't acknowledge it. When I was re-listening to the thing, I like heard myself read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Why didn't I say anything? So I was just like, you gotta say something now. I thought that was really cute and interesting. This love triangle shit is gonna piss me the hell off. I'm gonna be so real. I'm loving it, but it's so messy, it's so tea. And as I'm like playing, I'm like gonna Oh, I can't. I'm not ready. I'm gonna have so many emotions. I just know it. Carrot confirmed this in that this route is more cinematic, that changes the status quo, so it focuses more on Genzo and Gidget at the same time, while making the love triangle from hell with a dash of Orlam. So I was just like, I was all like, well, I thought this was Gidget's route. What's up with Genzo and all this stuff? And then they were like, well, it's more of like a cinematic thing. It's not supposed to. And I'm like, oh, I see. Okay. So Gidget still doesn't get her time in the spotlight. Awesome. No, I'm just joking. Joking. I swear I'm joking. But I like that that was, what's the word? Clarified. Because I do just like want to enjoy everything kind of unraveling and going around. And granted, we're probably focusing more on Gidget than we have at any other point of the story, which I'm happy about, but it's not just her. So, and that's fine. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Just like, Orlam's wasn't just Orlam. He wasn't even there for half the damn route. I'm just joking. That's his own damn fault. So I wanted to clarify and thank Carrot for telling me that. And then Genzo might just kill us. I don't know. Okay, I might be going a little over the edge here. To me, this is one of the worst things that could happen. Like, when I think about, like, what I don't want to happen in the story, but what would make sense and would probably break my heart, is if Genzo just kills us. But then, like, understandable. Like, worse things have happened. We ate him last time. Eye for an eye. I just threw that out there because it is OOC. But the thing is that, like, if Wonderland gets to him, if his emotions are heightened, I feel like it could happen. I don't know. I don't really see it happening because Iggy was such a bitch to him in Act 3, and Iggy's a lot nicer to him this time around. So it just feels a little like... And I think Carrot also kind of said that, like, weirdly enough, he's, like, the one character that Wonderland just doesn't seem to affect, which is interesting. And I could, like, just guess that it's because he's just a good guy, which, fair, okay? But it's crazy that out of all of them, Genzo's the one who's just, like, kind of immune to it. I find that very interesting. Go to Orlam's castle with Gidget this time. That was just my one prediction for this particular stream was... Yeah, they did mention it. They leave pretty decent long comments in the YouTube VODs that I look at, because usually they can't catch the streams live. And so they just clarify what I'm saying, or like, for instance, like it is Cecil and not Cecil or whatever other pronunciation of the name. And things like that are really helpful for me to, go in for the next stream with that knowledge. What was it? So, yeah, I just think Gidget's going to go with us to Orlam's castle this time. Gertie, this is just a random thought that I had. Okay, so Gertie is Gidget's older sister or just sibling. And every time I heard Gertie in the last stream, I was like, what does that remind me of? Where have I heard that name? And then it occurred to me, it's Gordy from Ace Attorney, the Loch Ness Monster was what I was thinking of. So every time I heard Gertie, I was like, isn't that the name of the fucking... or Ace Attorney thing? What is that? Is that and then it's Gertie and Gordy, so I was close, but they're not the same. But I'm glad that I was able to clarify that to myself. It's interesting that in Our Cinderella, Genzo also seems himself. The same Genzo is just the Rock in all timelines. Oh, he is. And I was going to say that as well, that's actually one of my notes, is that Genzo is like Iggy's Rock, and Iggy seems to be Gidget's Rock, so like, I like that there's a specific dynamic there, and then Orlam, everyone is Orlam's Rock, because Orlam is just help him. There's a good chance Genzo is using Orlam to fulfill his pent-up sexual frustration. Okay, so I will be honest, when I was in the after prom flashback scene in last stream, I was a bit confused by the whole Gidget talking to Orlam thing, and I think it was like directly trying to tell me something, and I just wasn't picking it up for some reason, so I didn't know what to make of it, and then so I kind of just sat on it. I didn't want to make like any broad statements in case I was wrong. But I think after listening back to it, I think that might be what's going on. I'm sure we're gonna get some clarification fairly soon. So I'm gonna be patient and see, but I think that's where that's going. And like, it feels very fitting, and knowing how Orlam's sexual expression is, is that, like, he probably would be 1000% down, but then also the unrequited feelings makes it really messy. And then also knowing Genzo, he's probably using Orlov as a substitute for Iggy, and then it makes it worse. And I don't like it. When I even typed it, I felt like super uncomfortable. Which is the point. Like, you're supposed to feel super uncomfortable because it's not a great thing to think about that friends could use each other like that. But it would make sense. And I think that's what is going on among many other things. And then the last thing was I need to get a pillow so that I can scream into it. Hi, Snacks! I dropped my phone on the floor. Awesome. Awesome. Great. So I'm going to get a pillow close by me so then that way I can scream into it so I don't peek the mic. Because I do get, like, legitimately, like, in my feelings and then I feel like I need to actually scream. And I think we're in for one of those kinds of streams. Alright, so those are all my theories, thoughts and theories so far. I think it's time to jump into the game. I'm terrified. We're probably going to be able to finish Act 4 today. That is my goal. So let's not waste any more time. Load. I have to remind myself to load every time so I just don't save over it. Once dinner is finished, we leave Cecil to clean up the table and start back for the inn. We take a roundabout way up through the winding roads, just gazing up at the lights and the dark expanse of the sky. At some point, Gidget's hands find mine, and I don't pull away. Her fingers are soft in mine, warm, secure, a comforting presence keeping me tied to reality and free from the cloying grip of my self-doubt. Oh. When she smiles at me, something unclenches inside of my chest and I feel at home. Oh. We near the top of the hill, back into the main square. I can see the inn just on the other side. Our walk will be over soon. Our talk will be over soon. And I haven't told her yet. My heart starts to pick up again. I have to do it now. But the thought of the light vanishing from her face, her fingers slipping from mine, never to reach out for them again, oh, steals the words every time they dance across my tongue. Iggy? I feel her come to a stop, so I stop, too, looking back at her. She looks at me, at the ground. I feel her fingers tighten around mine. I'm sorry, she finally says. For what? For that day back in the car. She's acknowledging it. She presses her lips together. It feels like forever ago to me now, but there hasn't been a day when I haven't stopped thinking about it, haven't regretted it. I shouldn't have pushed myself on you like that. I just... Oh, her shoulders start to shake. Oh, you just had a lot of emotions, honey. It's okay. We'll get consent 101 for you. It'll be okay. Then I see the tears come, tiny, tiny sparkles that dance on her eyelashes, then morphing into rivers that wind down her cheeks. Hey. I reach forward before I have the chance to think about it, pulling her into my arms. Oh, she buries her head into my shoulder. I'm so scared, Iggy. Scared of what? I feel like if I lose you, I lose everything. This makes my brows furrow. I sit on this moment, pondering it. Then slowly, why would you say something like that? She rubs her face into the fabric of my shirt, leaving streaks of snot and tears. I don't know. I don't know. It's stupid. I just feel so lost sometimes. But not when I think of you. When I think of you, everything makes sense. A pause. I feel like you're my one chance. A sniff. The only one who would like someone like me. Gidget. I just so desperately want to make you happy. To be perfect for you. So we can have the perfect life. Something twists inside of me. And I'm not sure if it's related to the residual guilt still building in my gut, the fact that her words hit terrifyingly close to feelings I've entertained myself, or something else entirely. I pull back with a frown. And as she looks down at me, her eyes watery in streaks, I feel my muscles move on instinct, almost like I'm being pulled by some invisible force. I reach forward, lifting my toes ever so slightly. Again, these kiss scenes, not that they are unfitting, they just kind of are so sudden for me. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know we were going there. Good thing I ended the stream where I did last time. Imagine if I had to end it right now. Gidget does bad things, but I feel so bad for them. No, legitimately, it's kind of a joke, but, like, I have so much sympathy for Gidget, and I don't know what it is. It could just be, like, she's a lady, I'm a lady, currently. Or just, like, I see how hard she's trying, and then, like, I don't know, there's just something very easily sympathetic about her to me. Um, this is a romantic lead, Iggy. They're so OOC here, honestly. You think so? I don't know. I feel like Iggy really is into Gidget. Like, he, compared to Chad Iggy from Arc 3. Yeah, if Iggy is the standard for his character in Arc 3, then this is totally out of character. But just as, like, base Iggy, I think this is pretty good. This CG's so cute. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him for taking the initiative. Good on him. And pressed my lips to hers. Her eyes opened wide at first, so did mine. Then squeezed tight, tears flooding their corners as her arms go around my neck. Oh, fuck. Fuck, it feels good. I was gonna say that. So when she did force the kiss on him, bad, he did say that he liked the feeling of her soft lips, like he was hyperfixating on that feeling. And I wasn't sure if it was just like that was him like trying to calm himself down in the moment, or if he was like legitimately kind of into it, but wasn't into the fact that she was so sudden about it. And I think that kind of confirms that a little bit. So that's good. Oh, true, but I think it's just odd seeing him so forward. I do think he likes Gidget. He does like Gidget, and I'm glad that he does. I'm glad that there is this, like... And it's a little sad, though, because Genzo obviously knows that. Like... And he just kind of got lucky on Act 2 because Gidget turned out to be the worst most of the time. So yeah, this is gonna... Just holding each other like this, her lips wonderful against mine, sweet against mine, washing everything else away. And when I pull back and see her cheeks rosy and her mouth cocked in that usual off-kilter grin of hers, I can't help but think she's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He's just like me! She brings a hand up to wipe at her eyes with a phlegmy chuckle. God, look at me. It's okay. I probably don't look much better myself. Silence settles over us as we simply stand there, identical awkward grins on our faces. What do I do now? I don't know. I've never been in this situation before. Does she expect me to do something? To say something? I mean, if she likes you, no. Well, I don't know, this is okay, that is a thing here, though. I really don't know what to make of Gidget's character right now, because I don't know how much of this is genuine or some of this is clouded. I don't even know how, like, obviously when their Wonderland personalities are in effect, they're still drawing from real shit, but they're just, like, acting a lot, like, they're a lot more bold with their actions, I guess is what I'm getting at. So, like, I'm a little still terrified of her. Like, that's good for me. I'm terrified for Iggy's sake. I bring a hand to my forehead. I'm feeling sweaty again. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. I finally say, voice cracking. It's okay. I am too, honestly. Gidget brings her hands up with a little wave, her gaze dropping in nervous uncertainty. Do you want me to walk you home? I glance around, suddenly feeling quite stupid. Not that I know where home is. It was a nice sentiment. Gidget just laughs. It's just that little house down the road. The people here got it ready for me a little while after I arrived. Alright then, I'll walk you to the little house down the road, I say with an undoubtedly dorky grin, then re-find her hand. I would be delighted if you'd walk me there. Walk me there, good sir. She gives a little half bow, half curtsy thing with a snorted laugh. Then the two of us are making our way along, back down the path, interlocked hands swinging between us like high school sweethearts. Oh, they're so like cotton candy sweet. Like, it's like mouth aching. Hey, Gray! Did you see the kiss? Did you see the kiss, Gray? It was very, very cute. Very sudden, but very welcome. For once I feel... It's okay, Iggy. Fucked. Fucking fuck. I didn't tell her. That's true, you did not tell her. I forgot to. You didn't tell her. I didn't tell her. Oh, no. I stare at the ceiling of my room back in the inn, fingers clenched. Oh gosh, is she gonna like come? Oh no, oh no. Oh wait, it's settling on me too. I was in happy la la kiss land. I didn't think about the implication. Yes, nothing good happens in this room ever. He's in the danger. Fingers clenching at my cheeks and pulling down the skin around my eyes. Yeah, I had one thing I needed to do. And I couldn't even do that. If anything, I probably just made it worse. Because now she has, like, expectations. I mean, not necessarily, okay? Like, we could still talk this through. It is not too late. It's not too late. It's never too late. Now she's going to assume things of me. Hope things of me. And I'm going to let her down. Oh, fuck. Am I going to let her down? No, babe. Look, everybody can let everybody down. All right? You know, it's not a crime. I roll over onto my... Not saying you're going to, but even if you did, that's on her, not on you, buddy boy. I roll over on my side, bringing my knees against my chest. Fuck. She's going to hate me. I'm going to break her heart. Already the telltale heat is building up beneath my eyes, tears pricking the corners. Oh, and the nausea. The nausea is back with a vengeance. Feel this. Cruel and bitter, and it eats away at my heart. Before I can completely lose myself to the misery, however, there's a knock on the door. I blink my eyes, sit up. Who could? I wipe at my face to erase the bleary traces of tears, push myself to my feet, but as I'm taking a step to the door, a wave of deep guttural fear washes over me. I stop. Why does opening the door suddenly feel like an incredibly bad idea? I look down to see my finger shaking, and when this is a very interesting clash here, because obviously we all know, and Iggy sort of feels it too, you know, but like, she was being really genuine and very cute, so it's like, I feel like we might be able to. I'm hopeful always. I think Iggy needs a girl or something. Cold steel, press against my neck, snipping, but I shake my head. Will away the thoughts, stupid. I step towards the door and turn the knob. See? Don't go against your gut. But I stop before I can finish. It's not Gidget. It's Genzo. Oh, the reverse. This is gonna be worse. You're being led into a false sense of security. So true, the room is like 60% of where the worst things in the game happen. Like, actually, yes. And looking mildly shell-shocked, too, as though he'd just forgotten everything he'd been about to say. Oh, is all he bandages, his eyes twitching. What is it? I run a tired hand. I'm, like, blushing because he's just here. I'm like, what is it? I run a tired hand through my hair. He bites down on his lip with a frown. Looks up, down, then finally breaks out into an overly wide grin. How'd it go, huh? I wince. That is not really what I need right now. Ugh. But at the same time, familiar company does seem more preferable than drowning in my thoughts. Yeah! I nod for him to come in with a little grunt. He steps inside almost nervously, looking around the room as he smooths down the front of his jacket. It went great and horrible, I finally say with a sigh. He plops down on the bed. That's what we learned individuals is like... Sorry, every time Genzo pops out, like, the IQ, I'm like, what the fuck is this dude saying? So I gotta read it, like, 3 times. That's what we learned individuals like to call an oxymoron, Iggs. I didn't tell her. Genzo's brows arc. You didn't tell her? No! I sink down next to him before falling... Ugh. I'm feeling the drama setting in so much right now. It's like a soap opera. Oh my gosh, was Gidget's mom watching the soap opera, like, foreshadowing of this? That's good shit. I like that. I really like that. I'm really into it. Honestly, me too. I'll accept evil Genzo in the danger room. I sink down next to him before falling flat on my back, hands to my face. I chickened out, okay? I just couldn't fucking do it. He looks back at me, his eyes tight, then brings a hand to my knee with a reassuring squeeze. It's okay. These things take time sometimes. I just groan. His words provide me no comfort. I couldn't stop thinking about how she'd hate me once I told her, that I'd ruined everything, that she wouldn't be able to look at me in the same way anymore. There's a long, pregnant pause after this. Genzo seems to be looking at the far wall. Silent still. So still, in fact, that it weren't for the gentle rise and fall of his shoulders, I would have sworn he died right there in his introspection. Okay. He shifts. Shifts again. Then finally flops onto his back next to me, both of us just staring up at the ceiling. Is there going to be CG? Yes! Someone needs to announce a surprise pregnancy. No, that's a pregnant thought, but not a pregnancy, okay? I see him open his mouth. They're so cute, dude. Close it. I have something I've never told someone, too. Oh? Really? You? I laugh and inspire myself. You always said the first thought that pops into your head. This makes him smile. Hey, I don't deny that. More silence. I toss a curious glance at him. He's got his lips pressed together and is blinking just slightly too rapidly. He says, his voice cracking. Then he shifts his hand over, on top of my forearm, fingers curling around it softly. He goes still again, just lying there, stomach moving up and down with his breath. I feel his fingers tighten. They leave clammy dents atop my skin, and I hear him swallow. Oh, I'm so nervous for him. These cute Genzo CGs keep me alive during the non-Genzo. For real, Genzo just keeps me alive, period. Like, he's the sun, he's the moon, he's the stars in the sky. Then his grip loosens and he gives my arm a little pat, almost as though praising a dog that's just performed an impressive trick. Just don't be like me, he says finally, though his voice is noticeably strained. I throw another glance at him, but his gaze is still pointed upwards. All that for that? I cock a brow. This makes him laugh. You know me, I'm a sucker for theatrics. More like you're just weird. That too. I let my gaze return to the ceiling. Now both of us are just staring up at it again. That expanse of white overhead, threatening to swallow us whole. I'm a little sad he didn't say anything. But I understand. It's not... It would be so hard. Like, they're like 30. It's like so much time. I poke at my eggs, watching the yolk run over the pocket white fluff. It mixes in with the bacon and hash browns like molten yellow lava. I fork off a piece of egg white and stir it slowly in the slot. I hate eggs. But this is good for you. Then toss a glance at Genzo, sitting kitty corner from me at the table and currently stuffing about 5 slices of bacon into his mouth at the same time. Damn, boy! You eating that or creating an abstract masterpiece, he says through flecks of crispy char. I grunt something incoherent, and then lift a piece of egg in the air and scrutinize it like a laboratory specimen. Not super hungry, I guess. Yeah, 'cause someone got a hog out of the High Fulton Constables all evening. Over other less fortunate souls at this table had to make do with His Royal Majesty's table scraps. Okay, Genzo, I'm sorry. I couldn't take you to my dinner date, dog. You said Mrs. Graham made you hamburger pie. Genzo raises a finger, lowers it. That's beside the point. I'm talking about an unfair disparity here, Iggs. Unfair disparity. He pokes his finger into his palm with each syllable. He's so cute. I love him. We're seated at one of the tables on the ground floor of the inn. It's mostly empty, just a few other patrons partaking in their morning refections. Though Mrs. Graham is making sure everyone stays topped off on coffee and juice, I finally bring the dripping morsel of egg to my mouth, grinding the pulpy whiteness between my back molars. It's at that moment that the front door to the inn slams open. I also love we built, like, the scary room and all that, and Iggy's like, oh my god, and nothing happened. Because Carrot is, like, edging us and making sure that we're, like, staying on the edge of our seats, and then they're gonna hit us with something that we're not expecting and be really scared and really sad. Good morning! I give such a jump that my kneecaps whack against the table and I lose my grip on my fork. It falls to the floor with a clatter. Alright, how's the Mad Hatter gonna come into this, huh? I'm onto this. There's a lot more Alice in Wonderland shit popping up this time around, and I'm on it. Gidget waltzes towards us. Waltzes? Like at Orlom's? Are you coming with? I Cecil behind her as usual as I scrounge around for a bit. You're in a good mood, Genzo muses as he wipes off his mouth. I'm in a fantastic mood. Gidget takes the seat opposite with a flourish, resting her chin across her intertwined fingers. She's got a different dress on, a green one this time, with a matching hat obscuring the blonde crown of her head. And why shouldn't I be? This is a time for celebration, no? Celebration? I asked as my fingers finally... Oh my gosh, she's gonna marry us. Against her will, oh no. I finally wrap around the handle of the fork. I sit back up, look back and forth between Gidget and Cecil, who's standing morosely behind her, his hands behind his back. What for? Gidget's cheeks flush, and she turns her gaze downward. Well, you know, for this and that. But then seems to snap back. But mostly to celebrate your arrival, of course. Isn't that a reason enough to celebrate? She waves a flippant hand back at Cecil. Show him, Cecil. Play the horn of celebration. Cecil. I like Cecil a lot. He's funny. Cecil pulls what looks like a rubber car horn out of his pocket and gives it a squeeze with a look of barely constrained self-loathing. Help this man. He's just an intern. He's probably not even being paid. He sounds like a dying goose. A chunk of bacon drops from Genzo's mouth. Great, now that that's been decided, let's get going. Gidget launches herself back up from the table. Hold your fucking horses there, Missy, Genzo says between coughs. Where exactly are we going? He's right, this is all a little, sudden. I try to cut it like your kiss last night, Iggy. The gurgle of unease is back and playing jump rope with my intestines. The Gidget in front of me now seems quite a bit more empathetic than the one from the night prior. We only just got here. But Gidget ignores me, donning her sunglasses as she starts for the door. Why, the only place befitting such a grand occasion. A castle! And we're all going, just like I predicted. Oh, whoops. I might have skipped past something there. Oh, no. It was just the transition. The music. The castle across the lake. 5 minutes later sees us on the pier, crowded around the ramp leading up to a fabulously ornate seacraft. Holy pee hole of Poseidon. What? Sir? Fucking pardon? What? Pee hole of Poseidon? I don't even want to think about what that means. We're going in this? I guess that would be a lake. Or like a... Now I'm thinking about it. Fuck. Gidget lifts the brim of her hat to gaze up at the good ship. How else do you propose to cross the water? This is my personal yacht, after all. Damn! You know what, Iggy, we're just gonna have to get on board, alright? She's got money, she got influence. We're gonna be going to Bora Bora. We're just gonna be chilling. We're gonna rule Wonderland. And then with a chuckle, or would you prefer a tiny sailboat for you two? Or for two. There's something about the way she says that gives me pause, but I ignore it, instead squinting as I let my eyes pan the horizon in search of spires. Iggs. Genzo hisses next to me. And when I don't turn and look right away, he gives my shirt a tug, jerking me down to his level. Is any of this, I don't know, ringing any alarm bells for you? Not alarm bells, perhaps, but he does have a point. Though the yacht itself is certainly new, the idea of crossing this lake isn't. Nor is the thought of what lies beyond it. And I find myself strangely torn between a feeling of homecoming and a feeling of panic-inducing dread. I feel like we really don't have a choice. Maybe you don't, because you're gotten all yourself goo-goo-eyed for Miss America Pie over there, American Pie over there. But I've still got at least some of my wits about me. And they're currently screaming at me that if I want to live, I need to about-face my ass pronto. Okay, now we're just being a bit dramatic. No, he's not. Dramatic? Dramatic? You don't sense the boner for murder rising to full salute on the other side of that lake? That is it. These lines are insane. How do you think of this shit, Carrot? How? I finally pull myself... They're great, but I love... Like, who thinks of that? He's so right, though. Yeah, he's right. And we're gonna be like, no, Genzo, and then everything's gonna go to hell, and we're gonna be like, shoulda listened. I finally pull myself out of this grip, smoothing down the front of my shirt. Gidget already told me, it's just Orlom. Guess he holds a lot of parties or something. Okay, so a freckled boner, then. Got his ass! Fuck you, Orlom! Genzo has the best lines. Genzo is the self-aware protagonist in a horror film. He is. And that's why he would live to the end. Or, like, he puts up a good fight and then dies at the end. That's the character Genzo is. Poor thing. Orlom would never do something. It is somehow a bit worrying. No. Orlom would do something, okay? The Orlom fangirls get their chance right here. And I love Orlom, I do. I want to make this clear. But it's worrying. I get it, I do. I haven't been able to shake the weird feeling since we got here. That, and it feels like, I don't know, everything is pulling us towards that castle, whether we want to go or not. It's a bit worrying. I throw a glance out across the water, squinting against the sun. Right, so, let's give this one a pass, eh? Maybe chill out here a few days, then pack it up? I've already had my fill of this place anyway. Me too. It means a magical land of wishes when you got 2 pounds of your mom's frozen dumplings sitting in the freezer back home. Oh, that's true. That sounds so good. So worth. Take me home, Genzo, please. But somehow, despite what I said, his words pass in one ear and out the next. And already I'm walking away, falling in line behind Cecil, to my death, who's hauling 2 giant suitcases up the ramp and onto the boat. I don't blame Genzo for being anxious. I'm already anxious enough for the two of us, but I don't want to make Gidget mad, considering how keen she seems on this. Besides, she seems to know what she's doing, and she knows a whole lot more about this place and what's happened to this place than either of us. If anything were to happen, she'd keep us safe. I mean, that's a nice thought. I think we do have better chances of surviving the Orlam Horrorland with Gidget if she is on our side. But if not, then, safe. That was a weird word to use. Smooth things over. Yeah, that's better. She'd smooth things over, no matter what happened. Iggy, come up here to the front. Almost as if on cue, I hear Gidget call from the far side of the boat. Oh, sure, give me a second. I make it to the top of the ramp and step onto the deck, taking a moment to get used to the way it bobs ever so slightly beneath my feet. Before continuing, I throw a quick glance at Genzo, who's still just standing at the bottom of the ramp, brows crinkled in concern. Oh, he seems to be suffering from some deep road. Okay, and also I just thought about when they were on the bouncy castle, and then Iggy and Gidget were like, oh yeah, bouncy castle, we're having so much fun, oh my gosh. And then they dragged Genzo in there, and then he kind of had a horrible time. And then he made fun of Orlam, and then Orlam got stuck, and I feel like it's going to just be that. Oh, is the bouncy castle symbolism for the real castle? Holy shit. Am I reading too much into this? Because I really don't think I am with that one. That one I kind of ate. If you didn't plan that carrot, then you got lucky as fuck, because that's genius. Iggy took a dose of optimism. You were absolutely not. Okay, I like it. I just thought of that. That's awesome. Okay, well, he seems to be suffering from some deep-rooted internal conflict. Aren't we all? Finally, however, he grumbles something beneath his breath and scuttles up to the ramp after me. I'm only doing this for you, he mutters with a pout. I know, baby, I'm sorry. Come on, it'll be fine. I hope. Me every day of my life. Me at the start of every stream. But that last part doesn't make it quite past my tongue because I can't talk. That's why. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so excited. I'm so intrigued. But I'm so nervous. It doesn't take long for us to leave port. A few last checks to ensure we're seaworthy, then the little yacht is slicing through the cerulean landscape like a knife through butter, leaving nothing... where's Butter? We miss her. Butter, if you're out there! Leaving nothing but a trail of white surf behind. Soon there's nothing but blue as far as the eye can see. How long till we make it across? I asked Cecil, in what, to me, feels like a perfectly reasonable question, but he's gonna be like... He, however, just glares at me and stomps down the stairs into the yacht's interior. He hates us. It's okay, Cecil, we'll win you over. I stare at his retreating form in confusion. Was it something I said? Rather than let myself worry too much on this matter. However, I elect instead to explore the yacht. First the upper deck, walking from bow to stern and back again, my hand tracing the railing, then down inside. It's larger than I expect. Complete with a small dining area, a kitchen, a room to lie down in, and a walk-in closet. And fancy, too, from the rich mahogany window frames to the marble tables and countertops. On my way back up the steps, I catch what sounds like Cecil talking to Gidget. I really must insist you wear something else. What are you talking about? This is perfect. Iggy will love it. And you do everything he wants? Is that it? Cecil, we're not having this conversation. I only want what's best for you. This isn't you. Oh, and you know exactly who I am and what I want now? Is that it? That's not what I was implying. I make it to the top of the steps, and both of them turn around. Gidget is wearing... She looks great! Fuck. Gidget is wearing the tiniest swimsuit I've ever seen. Almost on cue, I feel beads of sweat begin dotting my neck and hairline, and a cold snake feels like it's winding itself inside my belly. Iggy! Gidget gives a delighted squeal and launches herself towards me. Her arms go around my neck in a hug that squeezes her body against mine. My feeling of cold discomfort increases by 300%. Fortunately, she doesn't stay long. She pulls away instead, spinning around to show off every angle of her immodest swim accoutrements. What do you think? I don't know. It really isn't in my nature to say the first one, and I really don't want Iggy saying it either. I mean, she does look great, but then I also don't want to lead her on accidentally. Fuck. to be a feminist or to lead her on. We're a feminist all the way. You look great. As uncomfortable as I'm feeling, I know I need to say something. And just... and she looks like a babe. She absolutely looks like a babe. And how is babe not allowed, Automod? And not just anything. The right thing. Did I say the right thing, Carrot? Were you telling me that I was saying the right thing? Check's on fire, bring a hand up to my mouth and mask my look of distress. Great. You look great. Gidget smiles even wider at this, her face beaming. I knew you would think so. Even as I was packing, all I was thinking about was how much you'd love this. And all the other outfits I packed too. Honey, dress for yourself, man. You don't need his approval. You don't need any man's approval. You just need mine. I'm just joking. You're the only one who appreciates how hard I try. I do appreciate it, babe. Cecil over here has no idea what he's talking about. Fuck. I'm sorry, Cecil. I throw a glance at the man in question, who returns the look with a glare so full of vitriol my dick feels like it retracts up between my legs. Oh! Gidget ignores this. She grabs my hand and starts pulling me towards the front of the boat. Come on, come on. I was going to do some sunbathing. She leads me to the bow of the ship, where a few loungers have already been laid out, then plops down on the nearest one, pulling me down beside her on the flowery cushion. It'll be a few hours until we get there. Might as well use it to our advantage, right? The sun out here is glorious. It's certainly, bright. A1, good job. I still have my face half turned away. My whole body feels like it's burning, and not just from the gleaming rays of sun. Oh gosh, we need to make sure you don't get burned, though. That's true. Gidget laughs and turns to Cecil, her hands outstretched. Cecil! Cecil responds bitterly, but obediently, fetching what looks like a bottle of sunscreen from the nearby cabinetry and offering it to Gidget. Oh, is she gonna rub it on us? Here. Gidget smiles shyly, squeezing some into her hands and rubbing it between her palms. You burn so easily. It's dangerous. She brings her hands to my face, rubbing the lotion across my cheeks, nose, and forehead and chin, then moving down my neck and collar. Oh, I sit there somewhat numb amidst her menstruations, not saying a word, not really able to say a word. The touch itself isn't bad. In fact, it feels quite nice. Her hands are warm and soft, and the up and down motions lightly kneading my skin are surprisingly calming. When she moves to my arms, I actually notice myself starting to enjoy it. But then it moves somewhere else. My eyes flutter closed, relaxing, reassured. Maybe I do like touch? Some touch? This kind of soothing touch? Safe touch? In fact, it feels so good that when she finally pulls her hands away, I find myself wanting to whine in displeasure. Aww. Waiting to return to what wonderfully tranquilizing cocoon. Until... Now you do me! My eyes pop back open, and the tendrils of panic begin to resprout in my bowels. What? My voice cracks. I don't want to get burned either, especially not before tonight. She throws me a wink, then turns around, her back to me, and her hands lifting her hair to reveal her bare back and shoulders. Me actually stuttering but for a different reason. I swallow, glance at Cecil, who continues to simply stare at me in resentment. Then back. I pick up the bottle of sunscreen, my fingers shaking. Come on! I squirt some out of my palm, slide my fingers through it. My throat feels tight, so fucking tight, to the point I can't swallow. Oh, he's gonna pass out, poor thing! I bring my hands to her shoulders, then begin spreading it around. It's awkward and stilted and bumbling, my fingers jerking the lotion in haphazard streaks across her shoulders, down the length of her back and arms. The CG is so well done, I was like... I didn't want to be weird about it, though. My fingers running across her skin, feeling her skin, and I'm hyper aware of every single spot, splotch, and blemish decorating the expanse of glistening softness. Is this okay? I managed to ask despite the vice around my voice box. It feels good. Do my front too? My voice hitches. Fuck. I clench my eyes shut, open them again. Fuck. Okay. Squirt more into my palms. This is what she wants. This is what I need to do. Need to be able to do. No, honey. Or else she'll... I cough. Take a deep breath. Then reach again for her shoulders, this time letting my hand slide forward. Dipping downward, across her collarbone. Fingers slick and sliding across her skin. Lower, even softer now. my fingers sinking into it, sinking into her. The chills are sweeping up and down my body now, even under the beating sun. I feel so cold my teeth could start chattering any second. Gidget murmurs beneath my touch, and the sound of it jolts me with such force that my fingers dip all the way down into her suit top. I jerk backwards, my fingertips on fire. Shit. My chest feels like it's caving in on itself. Gidget turns around, her face a picture of worry. Everything okay? I start before quickly finding that my tongue is turned into a sock. Tell her. You have to say it. But I don't. I can't. I bring my hand to my forehead, fingers pushing back my clammy bangs. I think maybe the sun is getting to me. Oh no! Gidget's hands go to my cheeks, thumbs forging divots in the skin. It should be cooler downstairs. Maybe go lie down for a bit? You can rest until we get there. I mean, she's being really sweet. Hello, I am here now. Hi, butter. How are you? We gave Gidget a kiss. We kissed her. And things are good because we like her. But, like, we're put in positions where we, like, have to touch her and we're a little, like, unsure of it, you know? But we need to tell her that Iggy is asexual, so then that way there isn't this, like, tension. But we're heading to Orlom, so I think things are gonna get a lot worse before they get better. So, sorry, hope that was good enough. I dip my head in towards my clavicle, shame searing my skins. Anyway, but I don't know how to finish. They did kiss. It was very cute. I'm a little nervous, though, because I don't know how much we could really trust Gidget at this point, but I want to trust her with my life. So instead, I simply turn away, gaze pointed downward, as I make a beeline towards the stairs. I don't even notice Genzo until I ram into his shoulder. Sorry. Whoa, hey, everything okay? I don't respond, instead just shaking my head before disappearing downstairs. Genzo's worried gaze on my back the whole way down. Oh. The interior is wonderfully cool and dim compared to the sun on deck. I head straight for the back towards one of the small rooms in the rear that's been furnished with a miniature living area, complete with daybed. Once inside, I close the door behind me and collapse face first onto the bed. Fuck. Every nerve in my body still feels electrified, but my chest is finally starting to unclench itself. I give myself a moment before kicking off my shoes and rolling onto my side, arms around my knees. Breathe. Just breathe. I close my eyes, relishing in the quiet and the darkness of the room. There's a hesitant knock on the door. Iggs, you okay? I can barely hear Genzo's voice. Yeah, I'm fine. Just need to be alone for a little bit. Okay. There's a soft bump. The door gives a little shudder, almost as if pressed his forehead against its surface. Oh, I'll be here if you need anything. Thanks. It goes quiet. The silence like a heavy blanket draped across my curled form, and I let out a deep breath of air that feels as though it had been stopped up inside my lungs for days. That's right. Everything's fine. You're fine. I let myself uncurl slightly, pressing my face into the pillow. It pokes the frame of my glasses up against the bridge of my nose, so I slide them off with a sigh. My gaze goes to my hands. I can still feel the heat, the softness pressed up against my fingers. I find myself curling my fingers as though holding a ball. My mouth twitches. I'd never seen Gidget in that little clothing before. Never touched her like that before. In fact, until this moment, I had always thought that Gidget didn't really want to emphasize those parts of herself. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to do so, of course, but it just never seemed... I only want what's best for you. This isn't you. I furrow my brows. I hate them, Iggy. I hate them. I press my lips together. Yeah, it had been raining that day, that's right. Ooh, flashback, I forgot. We got flashbacks, baby. Let's go. Let me get a sip of water. Everyone stay hydrated. I love a good flashback. Just hanging out at Gidget's house. Watching recorded episodes of Toonami. Cute. Dueling on our GBAs. Playing half a game of Star Wars Monopoly before getting bored and instead sending the little figures on a secret mission in the basement. As the afternoon goes on, we start dropping off. First Bucks, curled up in Gidget's dad's armchair, then Orlom, his face buried into the couch cushions. And finally even Genzo, at first making a joke about using Orlom's butt as a pillow, then actually dozing off there, drool leaking down the side of his face. I'm hungry. You want something to eat, Iggy? Gidget's lying in the middle of the room, just staring up at the ceiling amongst the Monopoly pieces, but she sits up at this, tossing a glance in my direction. Oh, sure. Then we're wandering off towards the kitchen. Gidget's dad is seated at the kitchen table reading the newspaper, and Gidget's mom is cutting... I don't care what Gidget's mom's doing. Gidget opens the pantry, using the step stool to rifle through the selection of snacks on one of the higher shelves. When she reaches up, the hem of her shirt lifts and reveals her belly, as well as the band of her underwear. Her mom glances up, her eyes narrow. What the hell are you wearing? This throws Gidget off guard, and she immediately falls back on her heels. Huh? But her mom is already to her feet. In 2 steps, she's to her, and she yanks her shirt back up for another look. Are these boys' underwear? No. Gidget looks away. Don't lie to me, young lady. Maybe. Gidget's mom lets out an exasperated groan. I thought you were past this phase. When are you going to grow up? It's not a phase. I like them, Mom. Gidget shouts back, tears springing to her eyes. But now her mom is focused on something else. A little hanging strip of clothes poking out beneath the hem of her shirt. What the hell is this? She lifts Gidget's shirt all the way up, revealing what looks like an ace bandage wrapped around her waist. Her chest. Gidget jerks back out of reach with a tearful yelp, tugging her shirt back down. Stop it! You take that off right now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dave, tell her to take it off. Oh, my dad's name is Dave. Oh, me and the Gidget overlap again. Oh no. She can wear what she wants to, Patty. Of course her name's fucking Patty, the worst name ever. Why the hell would you wear... Sorry to all the Patties out there. I don't give a fuck. It's a bad name. Change it. Why the hell would you wear something like that? I just want to. Leave me alone. Snacks, don't tell me your real name's Patty, I swear to God. I'll lose my mind. You want everyone to think you're some kind of freak? I didn't raise my daughter to be a freak. I hate you. No, her mom is literally the fucking worst. Yeah, I hate you too. Get out of here. Gidget goes running out of the room in fit of sobs, her arms clutched around her chest. I stand there for a moment completely silent, then take off after her. She runs out the door into the rain. Gidget! I try calling, but she doesn't stop. She runs down the sidewalk to the end of the block, into the little grove of trees separating her neighborhood from the one over, and I chase after her, my feet slapping against the puddles and sending cold splashes of water up onto my legs. When I finally catch up to her, she's huddled beneath an old oak with her arms wrapped around her knees, mud streaking her shoes and shorts. I walk over, out of breath, then drop to a seat beside her. Oh, I don't say anything. The rain is lighter in here, sheltered by the trees, but the occasional drop still hits my head, and gooey slick puddles decorate the muddy path. I hate them, Iggy, I hate them, she finally says, barely audible between her knees. I'm not sure what she's talking about at first. I bring my own knees to my chest, curling my chin on top. I wish I could just rip them off. Oh, I blink. Let my gaze fall. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, the rain has filled up a nearby leaf, forming a tiny lake of water at its center. I don't know what to say. What do I say? How can I make her feel better? These types of situations are so confusing to me. Dealing with people is so confusing to me. I bite down on my lip. I think they're nice. Gidget doesn't say anything. Instead, she pushes her face into her knees harder. I wince. That must have been the wrong thing. Now I really don't know what to do. So rather than screw things up any further, I simply scooch towards her, one arm around her shoulders as I huddle up beside her. I stay with her until she stops crying. Poor thing. Our arrival to the other side of the lake is, well, it's something. We pull into the port of the small castle town. I can see the glimmering peaks of the castle beyond, standing tall and imposing on the horizon, though the town itself is cozy and quaint. And surprisingly empty? Momentarily, at least, because as soon as the yacht ramp slams down into the cobbles and Gidget parades out, us following her like some kind of entourage, a battalion of rabbits appears as if on cue. They come charging forward, pinned for attack, then immediately skid to a halt. The rabbit in front goes down on one knee, his gaze pointed downward. Ma'am? Gidget just lowers her sunglasses, peering out over the top of the lenses. What kind of reception is this? Her hands go to her knees. This seems to rattle the lead rabbit even more. Apologies, ma'am. We weren't informed that you'd be arriving today, and His Majesty hasn't made any plans for festivities this evening, so The rabbit winces. Oh, hasn't he? Gidget's gaze goes back towards the castle, the sun glinting off her glasses. We'll see about that. I love this girl boss of her, though. I really do. I'm sorry. I like it. Then she tosses an arm out to gesture at us and the suitcase behind her. If you would. Of course, ma'am. The rabbits hop into action, 2 of them to the luggage and 2 of them to Gidget herself, hoisting her up onto their shoulders. The rest of the rabbits fall in line to the front and the sides, forming a grand procession as they begin their march towards the castle. I can only stand there with the jaw slack, watching them parade away. There's something you don't see every day. Genzo whistles next to me, his own eyes wide. Is this normal? I asked to no one in particular. The mistress is held in high regard. Cecil draws next to me, his face unchanging. Held in high regard? More like worship like a false idol. Just what kind of cult-like shenanigans you got going on here? But Cecil ignores him. Let's not dally, gentlemen. He shoves his hands into his pockets and takes off after the moving spectacle. The two of us jog after. Damn, we don't even get lifted. Okay. All right. Falling in step at the back of the parade. We march through the streets, past houses and cafes, a tinkling fountain. There's no one else in sight. The roads, buildings, even the windows are empty and devoid of life. I can only scratch at my arm nervously as I glance around, and a chance glance at Genzo tells me he's feeling anxious too. We keep going, following the road out of the town and up along the path leading towards the castle gates. I see what look like a twin guard post come into view as we grow near. They sit on either side of the entrance to a bridge that connects to the other side of the moat and the castle gardens beyond. Two rabbits that appear to be manning the gates rush to tug them open upon our arrival. Their looks of flustered dread match the rising gurgle in my stomach. Further still, we march straight through the gardens up to the main castle door, giant and imposing and making the hair on the back of my neck stick up like a miniature antenna. Once again, two rabbits are there to open the doors for us, both of them semi-panicked as they scurry into action. Inside, I'm overcome with a feeling of frustrated should be a word. It's so cute. It's our word now. It's an amalgamation of feelings. Awe first at the high loping ceilings, stained glass windows, and diving tapestries, but then the strangest sense of belonging. Oh, I love that. Act 3 coming back in. I shake my head, tug at my collar. How could I ever belong in a place like this? The thought twists my bowels further. Attention! There's a screech from one of the rabbits, and the whole column pulls their feet together in a crisp salute. The two in front drop to their knees so Gidget can descend to the floor, and she removes her sunglasses to look around the environs in semi-disdain. A glance to the right, to the left. She crosses her arms over her chest with a huff. You know, I'm starting to feel like a little neglected here. But before I have a chance to wonder what she means... Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? I love my Orlon voice. I always get so excited of voices. It's ass. A familiar figure emerges from the far hallway, little cape fluttering behind him. I love that we emphasize it's a little cape, because it is. The goddess herself returns to my keep, and of her own accord? To what, pray tell, do I owe this honor? Orlon spreads his arms in a show of over-embellished grandeur. The sight of him stops me for a moment. And this theme going off, okay. The sight of him stops me for a moment, like a tiny hitch in the back of my throat. Next to me, however, I hear Genzo suck in his breath, and when I turn to look, I see his jaw go taut. At the front of the battalion, Gidget just smiles. Do I ever need a reason to bless this place with my presence? Ooh, aim with that! Slay? Certainly not. Orlon rubs his chin, though had I known, I would have done more to, prepare. His gaze flicks towards the three of us, and I see his eyes first widen, then crinkle in mirth. He brings his folded hands to his cheek in sardonic delight, and the surprises keep coming. Look who's finally decided to join us. What a treat. Genzo just snorts. I, however, drop my gaze, feeling all of a sudden shy. Seeing Orlon interact with Gidget is such a whiplash compared to how he treats Iggy and Genzo. I know! I love it! I'm loving it. I'm eating good tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A treat indeed, Gidget smirks. My Iggy is now right where he belongs, which calls for celebration. And what better place to celebrate, wouldn't you agree? Now is not the time to defend ourselves. We are in enemy territory. Like, what? And we're not going to ignore her. Or ignore what she said. No, we played into her last time. We're going to have to defend ourselves. Something about the way she says this sends a pang of something up through my brain. Anxiety stirred with a mild panic, perhaps, and laced with a shot of indignation. I bring my hand up with a cough. I'm right here, you know. Could have said anything more, I don't know, eloquent, Iggy. Then immediately grow shy. I mean that I can speak for myself. Orlon's gaze flicks to me. He smiles. Indeed you can, though I'm not sure it would do much good. Your path seems to have already been laid out. Gidget rolls her eyes. Don't mind him. A bit under the weather is all after that jaunt on the boat. It's made him a little testy. Testy? I stand up with a start. Orlum just laughs. Water travel isn't fit for everyone, I suppose. A bit too rough for some. Just the way I like it. Makes it more exciting. Oh, then it seems you'll need to teach your boy to swim. I don't like this conversation. I don't like it. I feel very uncomfortable. I mean, like, I love they're playing off of each other, but not at Iggy's expense. Gidget brings a hand to her mouth with a bashful laugh. Tee. I, however, can do nothing but blink in silence. Are they... Fortunately, the conversation returns to its original topic. At any rate, as much as it pains me, I haven't made plans for any entertainment this evening. He begins counting on his fingers. I would need to alert the chef, send out invitations, rally the tailors to ready some appropriate ensembles for a new guest. But he trails off as Gidget approaches, blinking upward. But you wouldn't mind doing all that for me, would you? She takes his chin in her hands, thumbs pressing teasingly into his cheeks. Okay, well then these two should just get together. What? Like, this is cute. I know it's not supposed to be cute. I like it, whatever. Let's really admire this CG. Tag yourself. I feel like I'm feeling like I feel like Orlom. That's mean. That's me. For the second time that day, my jaw goes slack. Orlom practically melts in her grip, gaze wandering not all stealthily from the eye-level placement to her chest up to her sweetly cooing lips. He lets out a throaty mewl, tongue lolling out of his mouth. He's a cartoon character. He's literally like, oh, God. He's so real for that, though. He looks like such a simp for her. He is. Next to me, Genzo makes the sign of a cross across his chest. So real. I take back my wish. There are some things in life that shouldn't be seen. That's a banger line, Genzo. Come on, just one little party. It wouldn't mean so much to me. Gidget traces her finger down to the collar of his shirt and gives it a tug. I suppose I could make an exception this once. The faces in the peanut gallery. Orlon leans in towards her chest, only for her to step away abruptly, nearly sending him to the ground. Excellent, she says, fixing her dress and hat. Besides, I brought Cecil. I know how much you enjoyed him last time. Orlon coughs and straightens up, wiping at his chin. What is going on? What is going on? His gaze flicks to Cecil. Ah, yes. Not Cecil! What did they do to Cecil? The lascivious grin returns and he brings the tips of his fingers together. I did indeed. How could I forget a man so gifted? Let's hope that's actually, like, I'm misinterpreting. Genzo and I throw identical curious glances at Cecil, who for once isn't boasting as his usual impassive is. I don't like this, guys. Instead, he's looking away, shoulders hunched and cheeks colored pink. I can't tell if he's embarrassed or, like, actually traumatized. Now then, I must clean up. It's been a long, tiring day on the boat, and I want to look my best tonight. Of course, guards. Orlum snaps his fingers, summoning a duo of attendants to his side. Ready the baths for her ladyship, would you? And do make sure she has everything she needs. Yes, sir. The attendants lead her off and down the hall, leaving us alone with Orlum and the rest of the battalion. Orlum watches her leave, small chuckle playing on his lips as he turns back to us. Iggy, Iggy, Iggy. He cocks his head to the side and begins sinking over. What have you gotten yourself into? But Genzo steps in front of me before Orlum can approach. Ooh. Bro, this is messy. Messy. Leave him alone, fuckface, or I'll knock that fugly crown right off the rat on your head. He's not mincing any fucking words. You get his ass, Genzo. You don't give him an inch. This only seems to goad Orlum further. Look at you, still so determined, even after the cruel cogs of fate have already turned out to your favor. What the fuck are you talking about? Me? Nothing, dear. Only that I'm suddenly feeling especially nostalgic. What about you? I see Genzo grit his teeth. He takes a step forward, finger raised, but Orlum snacks his fingers before Genzo can start whatever he's been on to. Guards! Genzo winces, falling back with a nervous twitch of his cheek. Get these two gentlemen cleaned up, would you? and fetch the tailor. They'll need something to wear after all, and I want everyone looking their best for tonight's festivities. Yes, sir, the guard's near us. I'm living. Like, I know this is gonna go bad, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun. They quickly prod us into gear, hands on our shoulders as they guide us towards the far hall. Behind us, Orlom simply waves, impish smile playing on his lips. See you both later. I like that he's just kind of going full villain, though. It's just fun. He's fun like that. Bad, but fun. I get separated from Genzo at some point. One moment we're walking behind some of the oh no, not us getting it separated again. And the next, another attendant appears and leads Genzo away, down a different corridor. All I can do is shoot him a look at confusion as my own attendants usher me further along the red carpet and towards an ornately marbled atrium. I'm taken into a small bathroom where another attendant awaits and proceeds to start tugging me out of my clothes the moment I step inside. What the fuck? But my flustered confusion is paid no heed. I'm pushed unceremoniously into an already filled tub, my feet slipping out from under me and sending my whole body straight under the water in an exodus of bubbles. I barely have time to catch my breath before, with a subsequent yank, I'm pulled back up and taken in with a sponge. Is this really necessary? I sputter between winces. My rabbit attendant is really going to town with the scrubbing. I'll be surprised if I even have skin after this. To add to my embarrassment, a whole flurry of other attendants continue to enter and exit the room, preparing who knows what. I feel my cheeks burn as I attempt to curl forward and hide myself, but a tug from behind makes even this impossible. I'm yanked backwards on another attendant with a tape measure, begins taking my measurements, even as the first continues scouring my legs. At some point, I simply close my eyes, focusing on nothing but my breath and willing this unfortunate experience to end rapidly. Once the scrub down is over, I'm extricated from the water and toweled off in a series of fierce attacks to my extremities, before finally I'm given a robe to clothe myself in and led to an oversized vanity piled high with all manner of grooming amenities. There, my curls are brushed, dried, and shellacked in a manner so thorough that you'd think I was being prepared for a dinner with the Pope himself. Close enough. By the time the assault of my follicles is over, the attendant who'd measured me has returned, his time carrying what looks like a pressed black suit over his arms. Wait, this is for me? His Majesty's functions enforce a strict dress code. Dress code? But this is all the information I've apparently been deigned to receive. I'm pushed to my feet, robbed of my robe, then forcibly fit into the confines of my new formal attire. It fits around my body like a glove, all crisp pleats and smooth swaths of expensive-feeling fabric that makes me feel both overwhelmed and baronial at the same time. Now, if you would follow me, my attendant begins ushering me towards the door. Wait, already? Can I get a moment? I'm feeling a little... I bring a hand to my still racing head. This has been one too many rapid-fire assailments on my already fragile psyche. What I would do for even 5 minutes to myself. But such considerations are not on the table, it seems. Even as I'm attempting to loosen the choking grip of the tie around my neck, I'm being prodded out the door and into the hall. Then down we go, back through the corridors of towering gold and down the staircase leading to the foyer. My perfectly shined shoes seem to echo especially loud on the marble stairs with each step. Genzo's already waiting at the bottom as I approach. He's got his hand shoved in his suit pockets and is staring at the ground, idly scuffling the tile with the toe of his shoe, but he looks up upon my arrival. Aww, little Kenzie in his suit! Hi, baby! At least you're not getting eaten this time, yet. I see him blink. Then his eyes widen. He brings a hand to his mouth and jerks his hand away. What's wrong? I tug away again at my collar, feeling all of a sudden self-conscious. I guess he got the same treatment as me. His fat head. It's because he doesn't have his beanie on. Oh, I love seeing all the curls, though. I miss it. He wipes at his face, seems to be collecting himself. Nothing, a sheepish grin. You look, great as all. Damn, Miggs, you do clean up nice. So do you. This makes me stand up straight, and I feel a weird sort of heat twist and coil itself in my belly, not altogether disfamiliar to the cloying tendrils of discomfiture I've been feeling around Gidget lately. We're in for it. The Genzi shippers are gonna suffer today. I quickly turn the conversation away from myself. You don't look so bad yourself. I give him a glance over. But we're gonna enjoy it until it goes bad, bitches. That's how the real Genzis roll. Damn, somehow this takes me back, though, huh? When was the last time we got all gussied up like this? The side of Genzo's mouth twitches, and for a moment I see his eyes darken. He looks away. After prom. Yeah. One of the attendants behind us clears his throat. Shall we move along? Oh, right. Then we're on the move again, this time towards a large atrium to our right. Oh, I'm in for the pining. Look, if that's one thing that this fucking route has, it's pining. Everyone's pining. So much shit is going on. I want to know it all. I want to know all the tea. Even if it gets us killed, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Can you show me? Carrot, I want to know why everyone's trying to kill me. There's a grand set of doors at the far end, and as we approach, I hear the sound of music grow louder and louder, and the sound of bad singing as well. All lilting violins and tinkling glasses. 2 attendants manning the door push it open upon our approach. It creaks, groans. Then parts letting in the light and glitz and the dulcet aria dancing across the air. Presenting Ignatius Walter Maxwell and Genzo Ichihara. I instinctively shrink it on myself. Did they really need to say my whole name like that? My cheeks feel about 100 degrees and already driblets of sweat are working down my freshly clean neck. Ironic that everyone wants him and also wants to kill him. Look, love and hate is a thin line. I've always said it. It's a very, very thin line. The size of ballroom doesn't help. It's absolutely enormous and bright. So fucking bright. And also when you really like somebody, even... Let's just call it for what it is. True love isn't dangerous, but infatuation is dangerous as fuck. Like, that shit's scary. And people mistake that for love all the time. Every single inch of it gleams with gold and silver, glittering 12-tier chandeliers hanging from the ceiling and a motive string quartet striking at their instruments in the corner. And the people, there's so many of them, all dressed in the nines with gorgeous dresses and dashing tuxedos. And upon our triumphant entrance, every single pair of eyes turns straight towards us. I really want to disappear inside the collar of my suit. This is too much. Way too much. Already I can feel my chest grow tight, fuzzy dots dancing across my eyes. Come along now. One of the attendants prods me forward, but my legs feel like they're made out of jelly and they refuse to move. I think I need a minute. My breath is coming out faster and faster. Fuck, I'm gonna pass out. Until... Genzo, yeah! Genzo's hand finds my shoulder. The feeling of it grounds me. My breath begins to slow, warbling vision, fizzling into clarity. I turn towards him with a beleaguered grimace. Hey, I'm right here. I tug at my collar. I'm feeling unbelievably sweaty, but I shake my head, take a deep breath, and allow the attendants to lead us forward, further into the room. Once beneath one of the large chandeliers adorning the ceiling, our attendants retreat with a bow, leaving the 2 of us alone amongst the bustling, whispering crowds. Champagne? A waiter appears seemingly out of nowhere, offering a tray of champagne flutes. Genzo practically launches himself at the tray. He's just gonna drink all of them. I do like champagne, so I'm with him. He downs it in about 5 seconds flat, then waits for me to take one before grabbing another. When you're in love, it's more than self-centered, than you centered in terms of the feelings for them. Yeah. Love is, all power. Genzo is love, okay? How Genzo treats Iggy, that is love. That is the truest, most pure version of love that exists here. And I would say also the scenes with Orlam and Gidget outside of Wonderland are pretty, pure. My brain... like, he's my model now. It's a good thing to be. Genzo's outside of his, when he goes a little too far sometimes with his words. But, if that's the worst thing about it, I take it. I take it every day of the week. I love him despite it, unconditionally. He downs one in about 5 seconds flat and then waits for me to take one before grabbing another. He's looking strangely anxious, but before I can ask him about it, I feel a tinge on the back of my neck. Enjoying yourselves, gentlemen? Damn, don't even give us a second. Alright. I spin around to find Orlam only a few paces behind us, the same grin from earlier on its lips, as though it had never left. He's also donned a new attire, now in a sleek white suit that might as well be molded to his body. We were until you showed up looking like a cum-colored dick in a crown. Damn, alright. I liked his suit last time. Genzo smirks. Did you pay for all these people to be here? Orlam's eyes twitches, but he never loses a smile. How have I missed that mouth of yours? He throws his hands out to his sides. But alas, no people actually respect me here. A foreign word of concept as that may be to you. Nah. We're just gonna say fuck Orlam this time, to be real. We've already got Gidget and Genzo. It's too much to balance all 3. They certainly seem to like you. You look great. No. They certainly seem to like you. I throw a hesitant glance around the room at the bustling crowd. A number of the nearest ones are throwing furtive glances in Orlam's direction and whispering none too discreetly amongst themselves. They certainly seem to, like you. Oh, yes, you could say they're dying to be here. Now it's my turn for my eyes to twitch. Orlam oozes over. Yes, but don't you two look nice? My tailors did a fantastic job. He reaches up to fix my collar, now mussed from all my nervous, tugging. Then gives my cheeks a series of quick pats. I could gobble both of you right up. Next to us, Genzo clears his throat, loudly. Orlam steps back away from me with a grin. Aw, is someone feeling neglected? His gaze shoots to Genzo's now empty glass. He snaps his fingers. Waiter, get this man another drink, would you? We all know how much he loves to indulge. Genzo's empty glass has switched out for a full one so quickly. Genzo actually takes a startled step backwards, right into Orlam's arms. Orlam's smile widens, and he gives Genzo's shoulder a squeeze. Perfect. I do so like to ensure you have everything you need. Get off of me. Genzo grimaces and tugs himself away, but he looks anxious again, the same tightness around his eyes. I'd seen before when getting on the boat, and when we'd first entered the castle. Orlam just laughs, then stops, tilts his head with a hand to his ear. Oh, look. They're preparing for a dance number. Okay, I've got another thought, and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. If Genzo obviously is keeping his sexuality a secret, and Orlam knows about it because they're fooling around or doing whatever, and then Orlam just, like, either accidentally, or in this case, completely purposely tries to, like, out him, sort of, then that's also why Genzo gets so fucking mad at him, which is fair. He should be mad, and I think that's a little justified. I don't know if it's justification for, like, everything, obviously, and I think there might be more to it, but that is a good... I don't know why I didn't think about that sooner. Dumb. My brain was in other places, I guess. Did he just allude to cannibalism? Oh, for sure. For sure. And sex. And both. Orlam is a freak. We knew it from jump. We know it now. He flicks his gaze towards us. I trust you two will dance? My back straightens on instinct, muscles tightening with an uncomfortable shiver. Next to me, Genzo looks similarly vexed. We would never. No, Orlam shrugs. A pity. I suppose you wouldn't mind then, would you? He continues, biting down on his lip in anticipation. He grabs my hand and pulls me towards him. Ah! I can only shoot Genzo a look of panicked confusion as Orlam tugs my hips against his. In a grand flourish, he sweeps me, almost literally, off my feet, in time with the brisk tempo of the music. Ironic that sex talk is usually so food-coded in a way, yeah. Which I usually like, but in this sense it's like, okay, you're doing a bit much, guy. Relax. You should have danced with us, Genzo. You had your shot. One shot, one opportunity. Oh my gosh, Iggy's so lanky. He's so tall. What a little shit. What a little shit. Me if I wasn't enjoying myself right now. I can barely keep up. It takes everything I have simply keeping my balance as my feet attempt to move in with the time beat. And I must look absolutely terrified because Orlam gives my hand a reassuring squeeze, his head cocking to the side in amusement. Do relax. You look like a spooked field rabbit. He can hardly seem to contain his grin. This is all a bit much for me. Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? You've never been one to revel in the attention of others. He cocks his head to the other side. And yet, said attention always seems to find you anyway. That's true. Quite curious, actually. Why is it that so many people are champing at the bit for a bite? As if my head aren't already a whirl enough, he sends me out for a spin, then leaves me positively rattled, then jerks me back in close. What would Gidget think of this right now? Where's she? What are you talking about? I try even as my insides curl and twist. Oh, yes, I forgot. Oblivious to a fault, this one, though perhaps that only adds to your endearing qualities. His hand wanders lower, everyone being the one who wants to teach. He finds... Oh! Okay, that's not okay. That is not okay. Jail! Jail! Prison! Guards! Get him! You can't... I'm actually a little shook. I need a drink. Yeah, that's not copping a feel. That is grab-assing, literally. Bad. Bad boy. He finds my rear end, pulling it towards him with a shuddered tug. You a thing or two. At this, however, his gaze flicks to Genzo, who positively bristles. Okay, he's slaying as a villain, but this is bad. This is so bad. And when Orlam starts pushing his face up against my neck with a libidinous mule, he comes stomping over it. And I am licking his lips. He's nasty. He's a little nasty. Okay, that's enough. Yeah. Enough? Whatever do you mean? You've made your point. But I'm having so much fun, Genzo dear. Genzo's face goes red and I see him grind his teeth together. He grabs Orlam's shoulder with an angry yank. Oh, I see. You're jealous. Orlam just laughs, using the momentum to spin in towards Genzo instead, promptly grabbing his hand. Don't worry. There's enough of me for everyone. Guys, this is so crazy. If I was watching this on TV, I'd be like glued. I mean, I'm glued now, but I have to also read and be performative. But God, I just want to sit back and just get the popcorn. Genzo blanches, stumbling over his feet as Orlam sweeps him up into the music. Ah, yes, this is nice, isn't it? Just the two of us, enjoying a moment. It has been so long since we've been this close. Orlam. Genzo looks 50 shades of uncomfortable, and I can see the glimmer of sweat along his hairline. You know, I've been thinking about you a lot since my arrival here. How I would welcome you, what you'd think about my accomplishments. Genzo's forces a somewhat beleaguered smile. Accomplishments? What, we congratulating people for having stuff fall into their laps now? As contentious as always. Just because you failed in your endeavors doesn't mean you need to devalue mine. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I haven't failed anything. Haven't you? Orlam pulls him in closer, grins so wide he looks about ready to devour him whole. I suppose denial would be nothing new for you. Genzo snorts. At least I don't take advantage of others when they're at their weakest. No, you're just an asshole all the time, aren't you? Orlam lowers his eyes. And you know it too. Know the pain you cause people, and that he deserves better than you. Genzo's jaw goes taut. The tea is piping hot. It is so hot. He mutters something under his breath and tries to pull away, but Orlam doesn't let his hand go, instead taking advantage of the small height he has on him to dip him backwards. And yet you still can't let him go, can you? Just a stupid, sad little puppy groveling for scraps. He leans forward, their foreheads practically touching. Genzo jerks his head away, still trying to extricate himself. Yo, I know Carrot was having a fucking field day writing this. This scene must have been flying out of their fingertips. I can feel it. Orlam finally does let him go, though none too gently. In fact, the sudden release sends him straight to the floor. Orlam stands over him, an amused grin playing on his lips as Genzo recovers from the fall. Like in the bounce house! His eyes crinkle into tiny, twin slits. But you still have one last chance, Are you gonna run away from that too? This time Orlam turns to me. He grabs my wrist, flinging me towards Genzo just as he manages to push himself back to his feet. I stumble into him, half falling across his shoulders, and Genzo's eyes practically bug out of his head. Before I can move away, Orlam grabs Genzo's flailing arms and pulls him in close, squishing me between them. Isn't this sweet? Tarantella for 3, and fitting too, considering how we've been dancing around each other for years. This is what happens when a Genzi shipper goes off the deep end. Genzo has gone bright red beneath me. I can feel myself sinking in against his stomach, my arms balancing on his shoulder, and my breath stilted against his neck. For just a second, my mind flicks back to the bouncy castle. That's all I have to say to that. The two of us all tangled up atop the buoying fabric, pressed against each other, tight against each other. Then Orlam lets Genzo's arms go, stepping back with a playful grin. Alas, though, I cannot stay, for I have other important matters to attend to, other guests to take care of. So I'll have to bid you gentlemen adieu for now. He gives a little bow, then makes his cape flutter out behind him like I made my hair flutter just then. Try not to have too much fun without me. One final grin, then he spins around, eyes from the crowd on him as he saunters away. The two of us watch him for a moment. Then Genzo must notice that his arms have fallen around my waist because he jerks backward with a flustered start, his cheeks still pink. I probably don't look much better. It feels like gallons of sweater leaking down the back of my neck, and my suit is now a wrinkled mess. I try to smooth it down, gaze pointed groundward. That was, something else. You can say that again. Genzo coughs, shifts, runs a hand through his hair. I force a laugh. I mean, Orlam has always been a bit of an odd duck, but that was beyond anything I could have expected. This place must really be going to his head. Do you want to dance? Yes! Genzo practically spits out, cutting me off mid-sentence, and when I look up in confusion, he has his gaze securely pointed to my feet, his hands curled into fists at his side. The weird twist in my stomach is back, the same one from back before we'd entered the ballroom. It sends whirlgigs of nervousness up through my chest. I mean, if you want to, is all. He looks up, then back down. So long as we're, here and all. Sure, I guess. He coughs again, holds out his hand, and I reciprocate clumsily. Our arms bump against each other as we both try to determine where to put our free hand. Finally, he goes to my waist, and not his ass, because he's not a freak, a nasty, bad boy. Easier that way, considering our height difference, I suppose. Then we start. Oh, but even then, it's nowhere near the smooth fluidity Orlum had provided in our earlier covering. More like two kids at their first school dance. Oh, the averted eye contact only adds to the portrait of awkwardness. This is a bit weird. Why are we doing this? Friends don't dance like this, do they? With Orlum, it had been just him. But, like, this feels different? Especially considering the way he refuses to look at me. The way I can feel his hand trembling ever so slightly on my hip. Come on, Genzo, get it! You got it! You got it! Gambate! The way he has his lips pressed together. What? Wait a minute. I blink. But before my mind can process the further, he speaks up. Pretty nice, music. Us in the chat. Yeah, it is. Have to admit, feels pretty regal, you know, with all this high-flatten grandstand and stuff, he chuckles. Not something I would have ever expected to experience, you know? You can say that again. I feel like the long-lost son of some fancy baron or something. His gaze drops again. He seems to be searching for something to say. Wonder, where Gidget is. I haven't seen her yet. They should have given me a choice. I see Genzo's eyes twitch ever so slightly. She's, on your mind a lot, huh? I mean, of course she would be. Why wouldn't she? Am I right or am I right? Yeah, but... A cough. Probably gonna be dressed to the nines, if you know what I mean. Putting us two fuckers to shame. I don't doubt that, I laugh. Especially after everything else I've seen her, Then quickly choke on my words. My mind had gone straight back to the boat. Definitely not what I need to be thinking about right now. Genzo must feel my body tense. Yeah. He starts as though trying to search for something to say. It's, pretty crazy, you know? Yeah? Gidget, I mean. How so? Just, you know, like, I haven't seen her in years, right? And I almost didn't even recognize her. Crazy, right? She looks so different. I drop my gaze. I guess she has changed a lot over the years. Right? Hell, if you'd asked me back then, I would have probably said she was... He stops, perhaps realizing what he's about to say, then frowns. Anyway, just not what I was expecting, I guess. But hey, when have I ever been able to read people, huh? I've got the social perception of a stick, me. You, Mr. Life of the Party? Fake it till you make it, my dude. I said it, and maybe it's annoying to hear, but Genzo is so me. He says everything I fucking say. Not everything, but I've definitely said fake it till you make it, and I've definitely said my dude, okay? This was out of the Joy handbook right here. Make a dirty joke, make a joke about Orlum. Okay, These are both good. I don't think what is a dirty joke? Like sex? Make a joke. Let's make a joke about Orlum. Fuck Orlum. Not fuck Orlum. But he was being a lot, he grabbed our ass. No, fuck Orlum. You were faking it pretty good with Orlum, huh? I say with a smirk. I made the wrong choice. I'm gonna see where this goes, and I'm going the fuck back, because I just realized what I might have done. I see Genzo's pupils dilate. I thought you would like the joke. You loved to joke about Orlum. And his fingers shift between mine nervously. What? What do you mean by that? I blink. Earlier, I mean, with the dancing and everything. Fuck, wrong. Faking those twinkle toes and everything, considering the two of us now. Either that or it's just me. Maybe I bring out the worst dancing in people. Of course. Right. Yeah, I didn't know where Iggy was going there either. I was like, Genzo forces a chuckle. Why? What did you think I was talking about? Nothing. Just head still running like a racehorse, I guess. Yeah, unexpected casualty of the joke. I think we're safe. because I was like, is he just gonna like out him accidentally? I raise a brow, but carry on anyway. Come to think of it, that's the closest I've seen you two in years. Yeah, and it's gonna take me just as many years to wash the stink off myself, too. I don't know, you were kind of cute. My lips curl upward playfully. Genzo makes a face. Gag me with a wooden spoon. I've got some standards, you know, Iggs. All the alcohol in the world wouldn't make me stoop to that except at after prom. But he doesn't finish the sentence. Instead, just staring at my shoulder as though he'd like to bore right through it. I watch him for a few minutes. What? I sprouted a second head or something? His mouth twitches. He laughs. Nah, just damn, it's hot in here. Are you hot? Sweating in places I didn't even know I had over here. I shake my head with a chuckle of my own. You know, maybe you should lay off the champagne for the rest of the night, huh? That champagne is the only thing getting me through this godforsaken shit show. All right. I give his hand a little squeeze of reassurance, though I can't tell if it helps to calm him or just make it worse. I see him lower his gaze, then raise it, his hand shifting against my hip. Despite everything, this has been nice, you know, getting to spend time with you for once. Yeah, we haven't really done much together in a while. Yeah. I feel his fingers shift in between mine. His hands feel sweaty. I like spending time with you. I like spending time with you. I cock my head to the side. The nervous jitters are attacking my gut en masse now. I try to quell them with a laugh. I like spending time with you too. You're my friend, Gen. Shut the fuck up, Iggy! I see him wince. Yeah. His brows furrow. No, He stops moving. He looks really distressed. And I remember that he's also had 3 glasses of champagne at this point. He brings a hand to his forehead and I can see his finger shaking. Gen, what's wrong? You're acting super weird. I see him swallow. He looks up at me, eyes strained. Only at the moment, a loud flourish of metal and strings cuts through the din, and the lights go suddenly dim. The crowd gasps and I throw a confused look around just as a beam of light is directed towards the door, illuminating a head of cascading blonde hair. The true horrors of Arc 3 and 4 are breaking Genzo's heart. Yeah! Presenting her ladyship, Gidget Francine Bordel. Wow! She looks good! Too bad this isn't how she actually wants to look. She's there. She's absolutely radiant. She raises her head, eyes sparkling, skin glowing. Orlov's stupid little face, he's like... And he's just like me. And her dress is jaw-droppingly beautiful. A wall of red that plummets to the floor. Orlom is at her side, guiding her into the ballroom like a king showing off his queen. And Gidget, she glides along like a vertical goddess that just descended from heavens, throwing gentle smiles at the oohing crowds with each step. For the upteenth time today, I found myself at a loss for words, and a strange tingling warmth is running wild up and down my spine, my legs, my chest. They approach us, the spotlight following them the entire way. Until with a little spin, Gidget detaches herself from Orlom and steps towards me, her hand outstretched. My turn? I step away from Genzo, take her hand. How can I resist the invitation of such a lovely lady? Genzo falls back silently. Then the music starts anew, a brilliant, gorgeous piece that seems to rattle the rafters as it soars towards the sky. I was expecting a princess dress, but oh gosh, this is how fitting that she presents herself as a lady in red. Oh, I get to just sit back and watch. Ooh. Gidget pulls me in close, then begins to dance. I barely even need to do anything. It all happens so seamlessly, so easily. She flows like an angel of dance, pulling me this way and that, twisting effortlessly in my arms as she spins. I find my breath stolen from me. This music is insane. This is so good. Not only from the flurry of movement, but from the sight of her in all effulgence. Dazzling... I'm like speechless. A dazzling whirlwind of red and gold artistry as I can't tear my gaze from. She's so absolutely alive, and I feel myself filled with a kind of vivacity I've never experienced before just looking at her, being with her, moving with her. For a moment I would swear we became one. I feel her arms on me, around me. We might as well be the only two in the entire ballroom, spiraling dizzyingly under the spotlight. How am I following along? I don't even know at this point. Somehow my muscles know what to do, know how to hold her, know how to move up and down her body as she spins against me, just gazing up in my eyes, like a true fairy tale, a picture book climax. the prince holding his princess. The music accelerates, cascading into a tumultuous crescendo that makes my very eyes shudder. Go to bed! No, you go to bed! I'm enjoying myself! That's my brother, by the way. I'm not just yelling at a chatter. In towards her. Close, so close. Unbearably close. My body presses against hers and her arms around my neck and her smile, her lips trembling mere centimeters from my own. And then it's over. The last note ringing for a final second before echoing off into nothingness. 1 moment. 2. Both of us just standing there, sweating, breathing, before the crowd bursts into applause around us. Thank you, thank you. Gidget laughs, smiles, still just holding me, gazing at me, her face beaming, eyes gleaming. I could feel the heat radiating off her body, smell the all-too-familiar bouquet of her hair, now tinged with sweat. Iggy, she says, and I cock my head to the side curiously. Iggy, will you marry me? I mean, good on her for taking the initiative, but also, like, we're taking, like, 10 steps. This is 10 steps. I stare at her blankly for a few seconds. I mean, it is a fairy tale, and they do be taking 10 steps, too. The word's not quite processing. Then it suddenly hits me, and a wave of something washes over me. The impact like a giant wave right into my stomach. My voice trembles, and I look around, look at the crowd, everyone watching us anxiously, waiting for my answer. Then my gaze goes to Gidget, to her smile, to her eyes. She's waiting, too, waiting for me to step up to the plate, to fulfill my duties, to be the man she wants, needs. Our perfect life. I lick my lips, close my eyes. Yes. Then open them, louder, more confident. Yes, I will. Of course I will. If Gidget's face had been beaming before, it's absolutely incandescent now. With a little cry of happiness, she pulls me back in, hugging me with everything she has, her arms sticky and hot around my neck. Oh, Iggy, I'm so happy. The crowd erupts again, this time with cheers of congratulation, of laughter and tears and sighs of happy relief. And Genzo's somewhere just, like, imagining, it's like, oh, poor thing. Yes, that's right. This is right. The two of us. We're right. We belong together. We belong together. Now's not the time. We always have. I hug Gidget back, burying my face into her shoulder. A rush of relief washes through me, and making my muscles weak and trembly. I am too, I say against her cheek, just holding her, being held, my own cocoon of belonging. Oh, I'm glad that they do have this, though. When I glance up and look out into the crowd, I see Genzo and Orlam. Genzo's just staring at me. A look I've never seen before on his face. Orlam has his arm around Genzo's shoulder. He leans in and whispers something, imp-like smile, practically brushing against Genzo's ear. But then Gidget pulls away, yanking me from my thoughts. I can see the glimmer of tears in her eyes as she lets out a phlegmy chuckle. We're gonna be so happy together. Yes. I pull her in close against my side as members of the crowd begin to approach, words of congratulation and adoration on their lips. The Gidget Orlam tag team here is so scary. No, and I feel like this isn't the first time they've done this. Granted, they did it as kids and it wasn't as, like, coordinated. But I like the drama, man. It's really good. And I do like their relationship, and I like that Iggy does, like, have this for her, but you need to tell her, Iggy, you need to tell her, do not marry this woman. Yan tag team. Does that mean that Orlam is yandere? I never really thought of him like that. I'm not saying that, like, he can't be, I guess, but he just doesn't fit the archetype in my mind too well, unless I'm just thinking about it wrong. But I ain't the yandere expert. We spent a while making the rounds after that, and I actually enjoyed myself for once. I'm not usually one to relish in that kind of attention, but the adrenaline running through my veins after everything that's happened apparently takes control, feeds me courage. Talking to people, laughing with Gidget, dancing with Gidget. An hour or so in, however, my nerves are starting to calm down, and the social exhaustion catches up with me. But OMG, yes, the dynamic is honestly gold. Gosh, I was suddenly inspired now. Oh, we love inspiration. It's like a glint of a flame. You just gotta like, what's the word? Cater to it so that it can grow into a raging bonfire. I'm no longer able to follow along with the conversations. I do wonder if Orlam is genuinely in love with Genzo. I mean, I want to say yes, but it's like, okay, my thoughts on that are like, obviously it's from when they're like children to high school, and like that is genuine and pure, unrequited, one-sided love. I would say yes. And then it gets twisted into something a lot more not that later on for sure. Which is really disheartening, you know? But, like, they're both in the same boat. They both want somebody who doesn't want them. And everything feels just a little too loud, too bright, too all in my face, and happening all at once and all around me. I pull Gidget to the side after an especially long conversation with a trio of bearded gentlemen. Feels like I'm starting to fade. Do you mind if I call it a night? Need some quiet. Gidget glances up from her champagne. Oh, of course, anything for you. Her lips curl upwards and she leans in to give me a quick kiss on the cheek. I'm gonna stay a bit longer. Still some people I want to talk to. Just say goodnight. Give her a kiss on the cheek. I mean, he kissed her. I feel like a kiss on the cheek isn't that crazy. Right? I don't feel like I'm forcing Iggy to do something he doesn't want to do here. And saying goodnight, like, they just got engaged. Like, come on. Of course, right. Then, in an act that surprises even me, look, I don't know. I felt like it was right. If I'm wrong, sorry. I lean forward, returning the kiss with all the shy bashfulness of a girl confessing to her first crush. Have a nice night. My gaze shoots groundward. Gidget's cheeks turn a delightful shade of pink. You too, Iggy. Her lips curl into a smile. Sleep well. I then proceed to turn on my heels with a stiff about face and make a beeline towards the exit. God, I need to get out of this place. My whole body feels like it's burning. Then I'm walking towards the exit. About halfway there, though, I realize I don't actually know where to go or what to do. I look around for Orlom. Oh gosh, he's gonna see some shit, or he's gonna hear some shit, but he's nowhere to be found. In fact, I realize I haven't seen him for quite a while now. Genzo too. Oh god, he's murdering him. I don't know. I mean, who wouldn't blush at their beloved shyly kissing them? I chew on my bottom lip with a little hum. Then renew my trek towards the door. Oh, I'm so nervous. Where I ask one of the attendants if there's a room or something available for me. Of course, right this way, sir. The attendant bows and leads me outside. Why is kissing a banned word, OMG? I don't know. Autobot hates love and romance and MILFs. Thank God. I'm guided up multiple flights of stairs, fatigue pressing on me with greater weight with each subsequent landing. Finally, we turn down a hallway lined with ornately carved doors. He opens the second one on the left and beckons me inside. It's delightfully dim inside, nothing but a fluttering candelabra on the bedside able to light the room. And quiet, too. I can feel my chest starting to Something bad is going to happen. Something bad is about to happen. I got one of those I just have that feeling. Something just settled in my chest like, uh-oh. There's going to be a scene that I'm not going to be able to recover from. It wraps itself around me like a warm blanket. We prepared night clothes for you on the bed, sir, and if you need anything during the night, simply ring this bell. The attendant gestures towards a small brass bell hanging on the wall by the door. Oh, thank you, I say clumsily before the attendant bows and walks back out, leaving me alone. Ah, the sweet serenity of isolation. I take a short jaunt around the room to get my feel of the place, ending up on the bed, where I find a set of blue pajamas awaiting me. Wonderful. I slip them on, anxious to get out of the claustrophobic cage of my suit, then crawl into the bed, loving the way the soft sheets fold around me like a crepe. Quiet. Wonderful quiet. I stare up at the ceiling, just breathing it in. Tonight was something else, indeed. I still can't quite wrap my head around it. How do I feel about everything? I don't know, Iggy. I don't know either. That's for the end of the stream for me to figure that out. How do I feel about everything? Happy, I guess. I had gone through a whole whirlwind of different emotions throughout the evening, but now I think I can say with certainty that the lingering feeling is happiness. Hopefulness. Yes, things definitely feel right. Everything will be fine. Yeah, that's a fucking lie. I close my eye, open them, stare again at the ceiling. Somehow my brain is still too active for sleep, even despite the fatigue gripping my body, and so I just lie there. For how long, I don't know, just basking in the dark, until there's a knock at the door. Who could it be? I glance towards it, wondering at first I'd simply been hearing things, but when I do nothing for a minute, the knock comes again. I begrudgingly push my way out of the bed and pat across the door. Yeah, it could be Gidget, Genzo, Orlom, all three, Jerry, who fucking knows? Open the door, who could... It's her. It's my fiancé, standing shyly on the other side and looking up at me with an almost guilty expression tugging at her lips. Hey, sorry if this is a bit forward. I run a hand through my curls. No, it's fine. I just couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about everything. Then wanted to see you so bad. She brings her hands together, thumbs pads kissing. Is that alright if I come in? Is the bad gonna happen in this room now? I throw a glance back at the room. Sure. then step aside to let her pass. She takes one look around, almost as though feigning hesitation, then promptly lets out a giggle and runs towards the bed. With a bounce, she rolls on top, brings all the sheets around her like a cocoon. Oh, Iggy, I'm so happy. The sight of her wriggling around like a little caterpillar beneath the sheets makes me smile in spite of myself, and I wander over. I am too, still reeling a bit from everything, but I'm happy, really happy. She pops back up, her head poking out of the sheets. I know, same. Honestly, I don't know what really came over me. It just felt so right. So, like, I had to do it. Honestly, I'm so torn on Gidget's arcs sometimes because they're so forward and bold, and it's so refreshing for a female character in a romance. It is! It's very refreshing. I love it. I love when a girl takes initiative. Like, as a girl who takes initiative. Like, I asked my husband out, and I don't regret it, not a single day. Like, I jumped on that the second I got the chance. And I love a girl like that. Girls, take the initiative, alright? A lot of guys like it. Not that we do it for the guys. Do it for you. If you want something, get it. What was I saying? Everything just feels like it's falling into place. I know. Perfect. It was perfect. She laughs and throws her arms out on the side, sending the sheets. Okay, you gotta tell her. She's in a good mood now. Now would be the time to tell her. Or unless she hates it, and then game over. I sit down on the edge of the bed, just watching her with a little smile on my face. Though after a moment my smile twitches, just ever so slightly. Perfect. Is it really perfect? I once again found my thoughts returning to Gidget's words in the car, to the words I directed at her those many years ago, to junior high Gidget crouching beneath the trees, mud painting her cheeks and knees, even to as recent as tonight, Genzo's words back in the ballroom. Gidget, I say with a shudder in my voice. Gidget, there's been something I wanted to talk to you about. A pause. About something I said a long time ago. Gidget turns and looks at me, tilts her head, smiles. What is it, Iggy? She begins crawling towards me. Not the crawling. There's something I regret. Regret? She takes my cheeks in her hands with a playful grin. There's no regret here, Iggy. No, I mean, just listen to me. Now she laughs. Look at you all flustered. Okay, Gidget, listen to us. Listen. But if she truly loves him, she will accept him as he is. That's true. But then that means we'll be killed. So... How could there be anything to regret? You're perfect. We're perfect. Everything is perfect. No. There's no such thing as perfect, lady. Relax. Her arms go around my neck and she pulls me in close for a kiss. Regret implies there's something wrong. She smiles against my... And there's nothing wrong with us. Nothing could ever be wrong with us. Everything's... Okay, she's going insane. Everything's happened exactly as it should. A dream come true like a fairy tale. She squeezes me tighter to the point that the tiny pinpricks of sweat begin rising along my back to my neck, to the point that I lose track of what I've been trying to say. What was it again? I can't seem to remember. I'm lost. Lost in her. That's right. How could anything be wrong with... Oh, no. How could anything be wrong about this? About us. She pulls back with a sigh, just gazing down at my face, running her hands through my hair again and again. You're so cute. Her hands go to my cheeks. My own little Iggy. Something pings in the back of my head, and my jaw goes tight on instinct. Cold snips and snaps across my arms, but Gidget doesn't seem to notice. Come here. She tugs on my collar, pulling me towards the top of the bed. I just want to lie with you, my adorable groom-to-be. I swallow my misgivings and do as I'm told. Oh no, falling down on the pillow beside her, just gazing into her eyes. She murmurs, begins a thumb to my cheek, tracing it gently, lovingly. It admittedly feels good, the soft touch of her fingers brushing across my cheek and chin, combing through my hair, scritching at my scalp. I close my eyes and just focus on the soothing touch, willing myself to get lost in it, get lost in her. I love you, Iggy. My eyes pop back open, her cheeks are flushed pink, her pupils trembling. Look, man, we're already so in it now. We're not just gonna be quiet. That's fucked up. Like, we're in it. We're already, like, we said yes to marrying her. Like, yeah, there's no way I was gonna be like, no. Save the bad end for later. Of course I do. How could I not? This is the path I'm on. This is what will make her happy. Isn't it? My lips part. I love you too. Just saying the word brings heat to my neck and face. But it feels good. A good heat. A comforting heat. Gidget's face softens and I swear I can see the glimmer of tears in her eyes. I've wanted to hear you say that for so long. She leans in towards me, our noses practically touching. I'll do everything to make you happy, Iggy. Then she kisses me again. But from the start, I can tell that this one is different. Alright, here we go. Everyone buckle up. OMG, so did you do this just for her, OMG? Ugh, I don't know. A strange sense of forcefulness to it. As though searching for something, needing something, craving something. I fight back the alarm bells that start ringing in my head. No, this is fine. It's fine. You're fine. You're fine. But this is the last one. Is more of an order to myself than an observation. Her lips feed on me, deeper, moving and sliding, and I can feel her tongue. It slips inside. Before I even realize it's there, seeking me out, lapping at my insides. Then her hands find mine. They pull me towards her chest. And with the start, I realize she already had her nightgown undone. She clutches my hand to her breast, and my fingers sink into the skin. It all happened so fast I can't keep up. My head beating. Cold, sticky tendrils racing up my spine. I want you to touch me, Iggy. I want you to feel me. These parts that are just for you. I can barely hear over the sound of my racing heart. I've always hated them, but I need to, for her. I know that you like them. I need to be what she needs. They're yours, Iggy. I clench my eyes shut, then begin kneading her skin with my fingers. She moans against my lips. Gasp. Ugh. I don't know how much of this I can read. The sounds of her words, all they do is send more and more chills up and down my arms. Her eyes narrow impishly. The things I'd love to do to you. She grins as she bites down on my lip. My cute little rabbit. Aw. Stop being cute. This is weird and kind of creepy, but it's also a little cute. I love the juxtaposition. I can never decide on one. It has to be all of it all the time. Her hands are roving across my chest now. But we have plenty of time. All the time in the world. And tonight is just for you. Oh. Every time it sinks out of me oh god. She follows with her mouth, letting her lips trace down my neck, tickling my collarbone. She pushes up my shirt so she can run her tongue down along my chest, picking and pecking with her mouth. I grip my teeth together. Keep it together, Iggy. Keep it together, Iggy. No! I'm sorry, Iggy. I didn't know. This is what you signed up for. Yeah, kinda. The moment you said yeah. Now you have a duty to fulfill. She wanders lower. Now her fingers are on the elastic of my pajama bottoms. I can feel her tug them down. Feel the cool air hit my skin. Oh. This is so sad, dude. This is the saddest blowjob of all time. Won't look. My chest is so tight I can't breathe, and my whole body is starting to shake. It starts as a light tremor, then grow and morphs into a quake that makes my teeth rattle against each other, muscles spasming out of control. Ugh. Yeah. You guys can read this. I ain't reading it. Oh. Stop with the fixing. Yeah. It comes out before I can stop it. A shout from the base of my lungs that comes tumbling out between my clattering teeth. It's quiet a moment, then we die. I feel her pull back, which is enough for me. I grab the side of my pants and pull them back up in a half-frenzied tug, curling in on myself in the process. What's wrong? Did I do something wrong? I don't miss the tiny tremble in her voice. No, it's not you at all, it's me. What do you mean? She pushes herself up on her elbow, looking at me curiously. I sigh, lick my lips, my throat feeling unbelievably tight, and I can't look at her, can't face her. I keep my head ducked, gaze pointed at my curled toes. I should have told you earlier. I tried, I really did. Another breath I try to swallow and the spit gets stuck in my throat. But sexual things, they make me really uncomfortable. She's quiet. Deathly quiet. Wait, you don't like sex? I can already feel the buildup of shame in my belly. It crawls up over me like a cold, wet blanket. No. More silence. This was honestly the closest I've ever gotten before. I wince. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll go away. I don't know. Maybe I just need more time. You couldn't have told me this sooner? This is already going really bad. Good that he precise that it's sex itself that he doesn't like, not her specifically. Yes, that is important. However, I don't think it's gonna matter right now. Gidget, no, girl, no, yeah. The abrupt tone of her voice catches me off guard. It sends a shiver up my spine, and I finally look up, see her peering down at me blankly. I try to, but... Gidget finds her fingers to her temples, massaging them in frustration. How the hell is that supposed to work then, huh? We can't have a family? Is that what you're telling me? And what about my needs? Are they just thrown out the window? Is that it? What? No, no. I sit up, shaky arms pressing into the cushion of the mattress. My insides are quickly knotting themselves into painful snarls of nausea. We can figure things out. I know we can. We can find a way to make sure that we're both happy, you know? There's definitely ways, as long as we both love each other, we can make it work. We can make it work. How? I can't even touch you. I can't even lie with the man I love. I'm just gonna have to live like a nun for the rest of my life? She rubs at her... Okay, this is going really bad. She rubs at her eyes, palms stretching the skin of her cheeks. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Why is this happening? I don't really know who she's talking to at this point, but I try reaching a shaky hand towards her shoulder. Gidget, please, we... And after everything I've done, to be perfect for you, so you'd want me. That was apparently all pointless, huh? You'll never want me anyway, huh? Wow, what a shocker. You sure know how to make a girl feel special, Iggy. Gidget, stop. It's not like that. And imagine my mother. Hey, Mom, I finally got hitched, but you'll never guess what. He doesn't fuck. Fancy that. Guess he still won't be getting those grandchildren. Look, if you're living your life for your mom, already the bet. You're already ruining your life. You're already wasting it. Gidget. I'm so stupid. I'm so fucking stupid. Everything. Everything was pointless. Everything I've done. How could I ever thought I'd be happy? That I deserved anything beyond this shit I've had to put up with? She flies off to the bed in a rage, stomping towards the window, just standing there in faint light of the moon. I can see her arms shaking, her toes curling into the carpet, and I feel myself grow small, so small. My body crumples atop the mattress. Silence. Absolute silence. I don't know what to do. My heart feels like it's been torn into 1,000 tiny pieces. And the shame, so much shame. It's eating me from the inside out. My body's still shivering. I'm out of control now. And when I curl my arms around my chest, I feel goosebumps up and down my skin. I will then the energy to climb back under the covers. Oh. This is no goodie. This is not good. And the moment my head hits the pillow, the tears begin leaking down my cheeks. I'm not having any more fun, guys. We had our fun. It's all over now. This honestly hurts. It does! I say softly, so softly, I don't even know if she hears me or not. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize! She stays there a while. A long while. So long I wonder if she's even still there. I ain't liking this. Then finally, I hear her footsteps nearing the bed. A creak as she climbs on, approaches. Her hand goes to my head, her fingers running through my hair, softly, gently. Then she's lying down next to me, arms encircling me as she curls herself around my back. I can feel her face against my neck, feel her breath against my skin. It's okay, she says softly, her voice like flickering candle in the dark. We'll make it work. I feel her sigh into my hair. Everything's gonna be just fine. Feel her arm gives me a possessive squeeze. I'll fix this. I don't like that. I don't like it. Where's this going? The next time I open my eyes, it's morning, and sun is pouring in from the window to paint warm square of light across the sheets. I've left a nice patch of drool on the pillow, and a thin layer of crust has built up in the corner of my eyes. Fix. Yeah. Huge quotations. There's nothing to fix, Gidget. I blink, yawn, roll over to my other side. Gidget is still asleep next to me. She's on her back, face pointed at the ceiling and jaw slack. Then whistling snores punctuate her breaths. I smile, then frown. Last night, the gurgle of nausea returns to my belly, and I have to clench my eyes shut to ward it off. I try not to think about it. Everything will be fine. It'll work out. I have to hope that. Keeping my thoughts trained on anything but that is liable to send my mind down a dark path I won't soon return from. So instead I reach over and gently take Gidget's hand in mine, softly intertwining my fingers in hers. She gives a little snort in her sleep, but otherwise doesn't move. I smile and let my eyes flutter closed. Maybe I'll sleep just a little bit more. I'm given all of 2 minutes before the sound of approaching steps catches my attention. And not just any footsteps, fast footsteps. And strangely crisp, like someone is slapping the floor or running barefoot. The door slams open. I sit up with a start, my heart leaping up somewhere near my voice box, and next to me Gidget groans with a wince of her brows. It's Cecil! And looking altogether nothing like a smoothly pressed, unflappable Cecil I've become too familiar with over the past 48 hours or so. He's wearing nothing but his boxers, and he's normally slicked down hair is a flurry mess of curls. Cecil? Gidget pushes herself up on her elbows, brows raised in confusion. There you are. Cecil wipes at his forehead. I woke up late and ran to your room, but you weren't there, and I admit I may have panicked slightly. When he sees the two of us just staring at him, he seems to finally register what he must look like, because his gaze drops to his appearance and he instantly straightens. Apologies, ma'am. I appear to be a bit out of sorts. You're good, Cecil. Gidget rests her chin in her hands with a little wink. It's okay, Cecil. It looks like you had fun. This seems to only increase his discomfort. Oh. And he promptly drops his gaze. I'm to inform you that breakfast is served in the kitchen whenever you're ready. I'm scared of breakfast. That sounds great. Thank you so much. It'll take us a bit to get ready, though, so feel free to go make yourself presentable. Gidget is having a hard time holding at her laughter. Thank you, ma'am. Cecil gives one bow, then another, then ducks out the door. I hear the sound of his bare feet padding away from the door. Talk about a jumpstart to your morning. Gidget turns to me with a grin. Shall we get ready, then? Yeah, she was so fucking angry, and then she's like, you know what? It's all fine now. Everything's fine, because I'm gonna eat you. She looks back to herself. No sign of the burst of anger from last night, and her eyes still soften when she looks at me. This assuages the lingering anxiety. I hadn't even realized I had still been playing cat's cradle with my ribs. Sounds good. Can't wait to have Genzo for breakfast. It doesn't take us too long to get ready. Gidget heads back to her room for a change of clothes, and I find my own clothes freshly cleaned and pressed on one of the chairs. Interesting, but I pay the strangeness of it no mind, instead slipping them on with all the grace of a half-dozing sloth. I hope there'll be coffee for us. When I open the door to step onto the hallway, I'm greeted by a rabbit attendant. Shall I take you to breakfast, sir? Yes, with a bow. Oh, sure, that sounds good, yeah. Another bow. Then we're on our way, through the corridors and down the grand staircase, past other attendants cleaning, dusting, and polishing the castle trimmings. I'm reunited with Gidget and Cecil in the front of the large set of double doors. Gidget gives a little once-over before her eyes stop halfway up my frame. She lets out a giggle, and I look down to see my fly wide open. For fuck's sake. Cheeks burning, I quickly zip up my front. This is already shaping up to be a great day. This way, please. The nearest attendant ushers us along, then opens the doors to reveal a grand dining hall with long tables stretched across its center. The table is already piled high with food. Eggs, toast, meats and cheeses, bowls and bowls of fruit. My eyes practically bug out of my head. My stomach gives an unsightly growl. We're guided to the far end of the table, where we're seated to the right of the grand throne as its head. This looks amazing. Gidget has her hands to her cheeks as she takes in the sight of the feast. She's not wrong, though admittedly the sight of it sends a little curlicue of anxiety through my belly. I shake it away. Right as the far door busts open, sending me half out of my chair in surprise. My dear friend, so good to see you alive and well in the fine morn. Orlom waltzes in, arms outstretched as though about to make some sort of proclamation. I trust you both slept well. Oh yes, very well, thank you. Gidget is all smiles. Everything was just lovely. Orlom sidles over, hand clasped behind his back and shitting and grinning, practically engulfing his face. He passes by Cecil, standing against the back wall, and I don't miss the little smirk he shoots him. Cecil straightens up with a cough. Poor Cecil, man. Wonderful, wonderful, yes. Orlom slides into the throne, lounging back into the pillows, then grabs a glass from the table and raises it in the air. One of the attendants rushes over to fill up with juice. I like to make sure my guests are well taken care of. Well, you've certainly outdone yourself with this feast. Gidget reaches forward to grab a muffin from a nearby basket of pastries. Yes, the benefits of staying the night, This would be a new experience for you. Orlom swirls the juice in his glass. Perhaps the invitation has never been enticing enough. Get wrecked, Orlom. Gidget bites down into the muffin in disinterest, and I don't miss the way Orlom's eyes follow her every movement, until they suddenly shift to me. You're being awfully quiet here, Iggy. I straighten up with a start. Me? Orlom tilts his head with an amused grin. Tired from the night's activities? I cough, reach for my glass, and promptly down half my glass of juice. Fortunately, a door in the back opens at this moment, and a rabbit dressed in a kitchen attire wheels in a large cart with more trays than silver lids gleaming in the chandeliers. Perfect, the main course. Orlom scratches idly at the underside of his throat, simply watching as the attendant approaches the table. We're each given a steaming plate of food, a gorgeous arrangement of potatoes, eggs, and greens with a sizzling sausage steak at its center. My stomach growls for a second time, and I quickly dig in, taking it, too, as though I haven't eaten in days. It smells amazing. Gidget sighs next to me before doing the same. Yeah, we're all just and here's the thing, I like it could go one of two ways. It happens again and Genzo becomes our main meal, or this is like a subversion and he's just gonna pop up and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Or it's not gonna be that happy. He's probably just gonna be like, "Oh, sad," and something horrible is gonna happen to him later. I see her cut off a piece of steak and bring it to her lips. Her cheeks flush pink with joy. Pink and joy in the same sentence? Really? I make it 3 or 4 bites in before I notice that Orlum is watching us. He has his chin in his hand, just sitting there, a little smile playing on his face. I pause, blink. What is it? Orlum just laughs. Oh, nothing, nothing. Just happy you're enjoying your meals is all. I raise a brow as I bring another bite to my tongue, chewing on it slowly. As I swallow it, I come to a realization. I look out across the table, at the empty chairs, at the far door, back at Orlum. Where's Genzo? I finally ask. Gidget's head pops up at this. Oh, true, I haven't seen him since last night. Now both of us are looking at Orlum. His face hasn't changed. Still just staring at us. Still just smiling. Then, his eyes widen ever so slightly, pupils dilating, and his smile, it spreads and spreads. He's such a nasty, curling upwards, taking over his whole face. I see him start to shake before I hear the chuckle. It begins as a nasally twitter, then grows into a throaty warble that makes the tips of his bangs shudder. Finally, his head cocks backwards, and the guffaws racking his entire body and falls back into the pillows of his throne, hand to his forehead. He laughs and he laughs and he laughs. He laughs as though he can't even control himself, a high-pitched chipmunk-like series of shrieks that bubbles up from his lungs and echoes throughout the entire hall. His legs come up, kicking out in fits of delirious ecstasy, his feet slapping against the arm of his throne. But he can't seem to finish his thought, tears glimmering in the corner of his eyes as the laughter continues to monopolize his larynx. Then, in a shrill of squawks that robs the air from my lungs. You're eating him! Oh, well, it's just that again. My muscles freeze, and for a moment it feels like my heart itself has stopped. I glance down at my plate, at the steak, half eaten, just lying there in a pool of juices. My fork falls from my fingers, and I bring my hand to my mouth, eyes bulging. No. No, 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 no. It can't. He couldn't have. It happens before I can stop it. Like an eruption from my stomach, bile and stomach acid rising, rising, rising. My shoulders heave and I vomit everything I've eaten straight onto the table. It lands with a sickening splatter all over my plate and silverware. I'm surprised he did tell him. I'm like really shocked. This just makes Orlum cackle even louder. He pounds his fist into the pillows of his throne, tears streaming down his face. I can't seem to move. Can't seem to comprehend. Next to me, Gidget is looking similarly horrified. Her face is sickly gray and her hands to her throat. Finally, something inside me must snap because I scooch back from the table with an ear-splitting screech in my chair, rise to my feet, my knees shaking, shaking, shaking. The room feels like it's spinning and I bring my hands to my head to try to steady myself. Orlum is sitting up now, still blinking back tears. You don't like it? A pity. And here I thought we'd have such a long future together. Guards, he squeals, the laughter returning. Seize them now. Well, he wants the reaction, I think. Yeah, he definitely does. The door is fling open, guards surging. I didn't get the other end, so I don't even know how he reacts if we just don't eat Genzo, which I imagine is probably similar. Which is enough to clear my head in an instant. Oh shit, I throw a terrified glance at Gidget, who's already up and out of her own chair. Cecil putting up to her feet. We need to get out. We need to get out. The door in the back. I barely have time to yelp before I'm leaping out of reach of an incoming guard. Then I'm running, my heart beating out of my chest and my head going 120 miles an hour. I go sailing shoulder first to the door, Gidget and Cecil right behind me, and find myself in the castle kitchens. A second later, a guard bursts through after us, and I let out a scream, jumping out to the right and groping his arms just in time. I hit the ground hard, the pain shooting up through my spine, but I don't let it stop me, can't let it stop me. Already my fingers are clawing at the ground in an attempt to put further distance between myself and the yellow eyes of that raging rabbit. Gidget, I screech as I scramble to my feet. I see her on the other side of the guard, behind Cecil, and throwing horrified glances back and forth between me and our assailant. I fling an arm out. Just go, find a way, anywhere you can. Then grab a pot from the nearby rack and throw it at the rabbit's head, then stops him for all of 1 second, then he's charging towards me. I allow myself one more glance at Gidget, enough to see Cecil dragging her in the opposite direction before I turn tail and run. I go careening around a tray piled high with dirty dishes. The momentum and slick surface of the tiles doesn't do me any favors, and I go into flying into a rabbit cook carrying a tray full of freshly baked pie crust. The cook yelps, and the crusts go flying. I go flying, scooting past him, grabbing onto anything I can to propel me forward faster. There's cooks everywhere, scurrying from one station to the next, holding food and ingredients and utensils. Oven doors opening, knives hacking at bone. I don't even have time to think, all I do is run, skirting between one culinary scene after the next and enlisting more screens as I go. And behind me, the guards continue charging, pushing his way through with little regard to the additional havoc he's wreaking. Around the next corner, I spy a gleaming cooling rack packed full of trays. I fling it towards me, giving it a hairy, desperate shake and sending the trays toppling out all over the floor in a cacophony of tinny crashes. This draws the attention of a nearby cook armed with a set of tongs. He shouts something I can't make out before charging forward, and I let out a yelp as I roll out of the way, crawling around feet, crawling through falling food scraps, scrambling and scurrying across the tiles as my heart threatens to beat straight out of my chest. This music is great for this. Finally, I see a door ahead of me, and with a final burst of raw adrenaline, I go barreling towards it, bursting out on other side with such force I'm nearly sent straight back to the floor. The sudden quiet, sudden calm throws me off guard for a moment. I'm back in a hallway of some sort. A long hallway lined with doors. I wipe at my forehead, trying to figure out what to do, mind racing. But at the sound of yelps and crashing cutlery beyond the door behind me, I realize I don't have time to sit here and sort things out. I take off to the nearest door, wrenching it open and throwing myself inside. Then I just sit there, my back to the door, my heart beating, sweat leaking down my neck. In another moment I hear sounds from outside. Heavy metal footsteps, a whole flurry of them. But though they stop for a second, they ultimately carry on down the hall, echoing off the floor and ceiling. My shoulders fall and I let out a breath I hadn't even realized I'd been holding. I'm safe, for now. I let the silence wash over me, allowing it to calm my racing heart, then throw a glance up at my surroundings. Where am I? It's dim, but not so dim I can't see, and when I step forward, the ground crunches beneath my feet. I look down with a start. Straw? The whole floor is covered with it, and the sight sends an uncomfortable gurgle up through my belly. Was it a fake-out? Who's there? The voice makes me jump. It's low and phlegmy and small, so lost in all that darkness, and with a pang that threatens to rend my heart in half, I realize I already know who it is. I take a step forward and another, until I'm close enough to see him. I drop to my knees. So we got both! We got the fake-out and we got the actual, reaction. That's fun. My whole body is shaking, but it just means that he's gonna die later. Kenzo, my voice catches. Oh. Yeah, this isn't much better. It would have been kind of better if he just got eaten. His arms are chained to the wall, his upper half slumped forward and heavy against the restraints. There's a white cloth wrapped around his eyes, only it's no longer white. It's red, practically black with blood. Dried and caked layers and layers of it, and straining his cheeks in heavy streaks that wind their way all the way, walk down past his chin and throat. He did get eaten, it wasn't a fake out. Oh, huh? And his... Oh, okay. Alright, cool. We got both. Awesome. I bring up a hand to my mouth, my fingers trembling. His legs are gone, cut off mid-thigh. Stumps calves with bloody bandages, two fleshy... This is so much worse! What the fuck? Why is he even here? Just to suffer? Literally? Is that you, Iggs? Something about the way he says it sends tears in my eyes. Yeah. And I have to clutch my hand to my mouth to stop the wail from leaving my throat. It's me, I say softly once I regain control of my voice. It's me. I bring my hand to his cheeks, thumbs trembling against his skin. And of course he's hardly going to confess now, because why wouldn't he? Sorry, he coughs. Never got to congratulate you last night. Genzo, please stop. Stop being the fucking best. No. Hug me, Chad. Hug me too while you're at it. God. I clench my teeth together so hard and surprised my teeth don't crack. White hot tears sears the back of my throat. Probably won't be able to throw that bachelor party for you either. Kenzo. Oh my, what a tear. Get out of here. We can't have 2 seconds, Orlam. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, Orlam. This is the fuck you, Orlam route. He's the worst. I jerk back, heart thrumming against the sides of my chest. I can already taste the bile rising to the back of my throat. He's there, just watching us from the other side of the room. So quiet I hadn't even heard him come in. Orlam. Orlam oozes forward like a This is gonna get so much worse. Orlam oozes forward like a shadow in the night, bangs casting his face in lurid contrast. His bony fingers are wrapped around the handle of a butcher knife, and he's twisting it back and forth in casual inspections, almost as though bored. Unfortunately, I'm more partial to comedies. Already too much tragedy in my life. Why not fill it up with laughter instead? I was laughing quite a lot last night, wasn't I, Genzo dear? Genzo winces, drops his gaze. Orlam draws closer, and I instinctively scurry backwards, pushing myself up to my feet with a swallowed gasp. But Orlum isn't interested in me. He wanders towards Genzo with a little shake in his head, tongue between his breath. It was show-stopping, wouldn't you agree? A grand spectacle worthy of the stage, and all of it orchestrated so perfectly. He descends with almost a graceful fluidity, mounting Genzo's lap and cradling the other man's chin in his hands. He's so nasty, nasty boy. We reprised our roles so well. The heartbroken drunk, the hopeless, hopeful, both of us desperately clawing and scraping for something just out of reach. He traces his face up to the side of Genzo's cheek, up into his hair, eyes closed as he breathes it in. For a second he doesn't move. Then a smile. It grows and grows, stretching across his face like a snake uncoiling itself. But this time, a laugh, shuddering at the base of his throat. This time I made sure you couldn't leave afterwards. Now his whole shoulders are shaking with it, laughter spilling off his tongue as his fingers wrap themselves around a handful of Genzo's hair. Let's see you run away of those little legs of yours now. His eyes go wild, teeth grinding together as he pulls Genzo's head backwards, only for him to abruptly stop, face going blank. He turns around, looks at me. His eyes dilate, and he smiles. Iggy, 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 he sings as he rises to his feet. You really have gotten it over your head this time, haven't you, Oblivious little Iggy who only wants to make everyone happy. But you can't. That's the problem, see? Because our Wonderland doesn't actually exist. There isn't a place where all of us can be happy. He spreads his arms in a grand show of pageantry. So you can try all you like, but the ending will always be the same. He drops his arms, shakes his head. Just what am I going to do with you? Then starts towards me. He's just probably just going to torture us in front of Genzo again, because that always works. With a panic twist in my heart, I jerk backwards. Back, across the straw, so fast my feet slip out from under me and I go down hard. Except in Arc 5, I guess. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak in Arc 5 before we get to a good end, if there is such a thing. But still, I keep crawling away, until my back hits the wall and my hands dig into the straw, breath hot and fast on my lips. All I can do is look up at him as he walks over, the stone wall cold against my back, straw poking against my palms. My arms, my legs, my lips, everything is shaking. A guttural sense of hopelessness running through my veins. Orlum seems nonplussed. Unhurried in his approach. He simply stands over me for a moment, eyes lidded in apathy, before his face twists into a grin. He's on me in a flash, up and in my lap, bony hips pressed against mine as his hands go up to my shoulders. Shh. He smiles, sweetly almost, affectionately. It's okay. Look at you. Trembling like a lost kitten. He threads his fingers through my hair, softly combing my curls again and again. We can decide what to do with you together. You'd like that, wouldn't you? I respond with a hic in the back of my throat, a nod. I try to blink back the tears gathering in my eyes, but this just sends me down my cheeks instead. The first option is, of course, the standard option. You have been a bit naughty, after all, sneaking into my stalls and fraternizing with one of my high-security prisoners. He brings the knife up, pushing the flat side of it against my chin and twisting my head, first left, then right. He tilts his head. Such violations would normally be enough to send you straight into the pot. He emphasizes each word by slapping the knife against my cheek. Then he sits back with a shrug. However, I am nothing if not a benevolent leader. Humanitarian, you might say. Plus, we do have such a long history together, don't we? Now the knife goes to my throat. He traces the tip of it down to the collar of my shirt, tugging it against the fabric. Yeah, I was like, Gidget is definitely going to save us, but I feel like there's going to be some mutilation before then, because that's just the fun of it. There are other roles you might fill around the castle, places where you could be useful. Then lower across my chest, carving a shallow groove into the skin that quickly becomes dotted with pinpricks of blood. Of course I can't let you off that easily, so you'll still need to allow me a taste. But from where? Lower, across my belly, where the skin is softer and the knife digs in deeper. Perhaps something you won't miss. Lower, cutting a straight line from my belly button, my breath coming out faster and faster. Oh, he's gonna take our dick. That would certainly make our mutual friend jealous, wouldn't it? But that's okay. I've taken over for him. He's a part of me now. Now I'm the one with the irrelevant witticisms, the crowd-pleasing antics, the dashing sense of disregard for society's rules. Lower. The entire tip of the knife is sunk into the skin now, blood welling up around like... The animation really does help here, wow. My vision is warping, twisting in and out, dots dancing across my eyes. What about you, Iggy? What will I get after devouring you, Ugh, he's such a nasty... I can just barely make out the shape of his head dropping. The feel of his tongue against my skin, warm and soft as it laps up the growing puddle of blood. Will everyone love me, Iggy? Oh, if he eats Iggy, will everybody love him? Fuck, I can't. I feel my eyes start rolling back. This is worse than the butt grab. Absolutely, it's worse. I mean, that goes without saying. And that's when I see it. Kasai, something dark behind him, hazy and contorted, a shadow rising up like a beast out of the gloom. I only have a split second to question my eyesight before. Leave my fiancé the fuck alone. Queen, Gidget's the best. Gidget's the best. Sorry. Gidget screams a deep guttural cry and sinks a pair of kitchen shears straight into the back of Orlom's neck. Orlom's body goes completely rigid against mine. His eyes stretch wide in surprise. I look at him. He looks at me. The tip of the scissors has pierced its way all the way through the front of his windpipe. Then both of us watch a bubble of blood form between his lips, larger and larger before popping across his chin. It forms a gooey waddle of red saliva from his bottom lip that drips down onto my shirt. Gidget, ugh, the sounds! Gidget yanks the scissors back out. The gush of blood that follows splashes up and onto her hands, face, dress, a brilliant wash of splattered, speckled crimson. That was probably the worst position you would ever see your fiancé in. Close! It's definitely a contender. Orlom shudders. R.I.P. Orlom, no one will miss you this route, because you were the fucking worst. Then crumples, limp on top of me, almost like he's fallen asleep curled atop my chest. Blood oozes out across his back, staining his shirt and hair and seeping into the fabric of my clothes. I can only stare at him, pupils trembling. I blink again. My whole body feels eerily cold, and the world around me strangely unreal. And it remains that way, even as Gidget tosses aside the scissors and holds out her hand, fingers red and shiny in front of my face. Come on. Only it's not a show of assistance, it's an order. So I take it. Our fingers slick as they intertwine, and I let her pull me to my feet. She's still cute, even splattered in blood. Orlom slides off in the process, going belly up in the straw. He looks so tiny now, like he could get lost in all those dried up stalks. While just a moment before, he'd seemed to tower over me like an insurmountable behemoth. I wipe at my face. You know, Iggy, if you were anybody but Iggy, you could take Orlom every day of the week. Well, I don't know. Genzo couldn't fight against him, but I guess it's also because he has guards and stuff. I don't know. But if you're like 1-to-1, you got a chance. My clothes are a mess, a mixture of mine and Orlom's blood, coloring it with thick, heavy splotches that glisten even in the dim light. We don't say anything, just breathing in weighted silence. Until the door opens with a slam nearly sends me in shock. Cecil a real one this time. We really needed him. Where was he before? Cecil rushes in, his face tense. His normally pressed clothes are twisted, crumpled mess, decorated with red splotches of their own. I see what looks like a kitchen knife in his hand. He takes one look at Gidget at me, then at Orlom on the ground. Come on, we need to get out of here. The whole castle is looking out for us. But Genzo! Gidget nods, pushing back strands of her hair that have gotten stuck in the blood on her neck. That was probably the worst position. Oh, yeah, I read that. She starts for him, and I follow. Then stop. Genzo, yeah, my heart clenches. Fuck. Guys, wait. I somehow managed to form words. I'm not even sure how at this point. Sheer desperation, I suppose. But when both of them turned to look at me, I stumbled my way back to Genzo, still just sitting limp against the wall. Genzo, I start, my voice shaking as I drop to my knees next to him. He doesn't seem to hear me at first. Is he even awake? I give his shoulders a little shake, and this seems to roust him. I see his nose twitch, then he raises his head. Is the guy here with my burger menu ate yet? I swear this place has the worst service. Now anything that happens to Genzo, he'll crack a fucking joke. If there's one thing he's gonna do, he's gonna crack a joke. Genzo, I shake him again, my voice cracking at the effort. He shakes. He's on the goods. I just had a major operation, you know. I blink back, the tears flooding my eyes. Genzo, they're coming for us. We have to go. Gidget begins stomping towards us, one hand pointing at the door. We have to go now, Iggy. They'll be here any second. Just give me a minute. I bark back, harsher than I meant to, which is enough, apparently, to stop even Gidget. I turn back to Genzo. I'm sorry, I say softly. What are you sorry for? He sniffs. You didn't ruin anyone's life. I laugh, but me, that's like my shtick. I bring my hands to his cheeks. It's okay, though. Every group's gotta have one bad egg. That asshole that always fucks everything up for everyone. Why does he think that? Then slide them down towards his shoulders. I can't shut up, that's my problem. I try and I try and I try, and still the shit just comes running out of my mouth. Towards his throat, my thumbs brushing across his Adam's apple. Except when I actually want it to. Then it gets stopped like a maw on B9. My fingers are trembling. Even now, with death staring down my throat like the world's biggest cock, I can't say it. I can't fucking say it, Iggs. It's okay, you don't have to, I know. Is he just gonna strangle him? That's not merciful. There's a knife, like, right there. Yeah. Why, though? Like, I'm confused. Genzo spasms instantly. A choked, fleshy gasp bursts past his lips as he jerks against the restraints, and his body goes ramrod stiff, then stumps on his legs, kicking out in futile panic. I squeeze and I squeeze, my hands shaking, thumbs pushing straight into the larynx, until I realize with dread that my lack of strength against the width of his neck is going to make this impossible. But with a shuddered hitch in my throat, I climb up into his lap above him, pushing down, using the full weight of my shoulders to press and press. This is fucked up! Oh my god! And it takes everything I have to keep my balance, keep myself steady, keep my weight trained on that single spot on his throat. Yeah. My chest hiccups. But it's not too late. My vision warbles, a hot, stinging tear fill up my eyes, running like a river down my cheeks, and before I even realize it, a throaty cry is buzzing on my lips. It grows louder and louder, an anguished wail of frustration as I throw every last ounce of my strength I have into my hands, my fingers, my thumbs. Then the sputtering stops. You know, I said it earlier, but I was like, the worst thing that I could think of is that Genzo could kill us. No, this is worse! My brain just doesn't go there. You know, I want to prepare for the worst, I want to prepare my brain for the worst, but it doesn't go here, so I get fucked. The choking stops. I feel Genzo's body give one last shudder, one last kick, then go still beneath me. Singing into the straw. I stay there for a moment longer, blinking through the tears, blinking through the pain. Then sink 1,000 miles back to the floor, releasing my grip on his neck as my body crumples in on itself. My skin feels numb, my breath stilted, hands cramping, aching. I clasp them together, unable to stop them from shaking, fingers still curled as they rattle against each other. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm sorry, Genzo. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm sorry for always dragging you here to die. For me. A touch of my shoulder jolts out of my daze. And I look up, at first not even comprehending what I'm looking at, then realize it's Gidget. That's right. We need to get out of here. We're in danger. We need to leave. She holds her hand out and I take it, stumbling over my feet but moving. Out of the stall. Back into the hallway. Running. Racing. Everything is passing by so quickly. Yeah, okay, we're back at it. Truly peak tragedy, honestly. No, for real. That's really sad. I feel like a part of me is a little numb at the moment, so I'm sure it'll hit me later. I'm like, but you know, we gotta survive first. Guards. Whole battalion of them. None of them Jerry. Cecil shouts something and leads us to the right, down another hallway, past window after window, in and out of the cascading sunlight. It's so loud now, a thunderous cacophony in my head, stampeding footsteps echoing off the walls. Just as we're rounding another corner, a door to our left flings wide open. A guard comes charging at us. He grabs Gidget by the throat and slams her against the wall. Oh, I find myself rooted to the spot, frozen, unable to so much as scream. While across from me, Cecil already has his knife raised and is flying at the rabbit. Mistress! He leaps straight onto the rabbit's back, yanking back on his ears and stabbing the knife again and again into the exposed area of the rabbit's neck. The rabbit screeches and I like how this is making up for all, like, the lack of blood, like, earlier in the route. Run, mistress! Cecil shouts it right at the rabbit, grabs him by his hair and flings him into the floor with a horrific crack. Cecil! Gidget shrieks. R.I.P. Cecil. But somehow this spurs me into action. And finally, I'm moving forward, grabbing her wrist, pulling her. After I run, Femel down the hall, streaking across the carpet. There's a door, just up ahead. I throw a quick glance backwards, just in time to see the rabbit bringing his giant iron boot down on Cecil's head. Ugh, Gidget lets out a wail, and I wrench my head forward. R.I.P. Cecil! Keep moving. I go flying into the door, shoving it open, lurching out, pulling Gidget, pulling my sluggish legs, out in the open air at the castle gardens. We're out. But we can't stop here. Time to get killed by bucks. I keep sprinting, past the bushes and trees and fountains, past the towering castle walls, past the bridge and the moat and the path curling back towards the village. I shift left and start towards the distant trees, away from the castle, away from civilization, away from any chance of running into more guards. I can hear Gidget's breath behind me, coming out in short, ragged bursts as her feet pound against the ground. Cecil really got the short end of the stick this route. Yeah, R.I.P. Wait, this route? Does that mean he returns next one? I hope so. Once we're near the trees and there's still no sign of any guards behind us, I begin to slow down. Slower, easing off into the trees, until we're walking, stumbling, tripping over rocks, branches, each other, as we clutch to the tree bark for balance. Finally, we stop completely, hands to our knees, coughing, wheezing, and gasping. I can taste blood in the back of my throat, on my tongue, and on my lungs. My lungs feel like they're on fire, like I'm breathing through a straw. I lean against an overhead branch, clenching my eyes shut as I focus simply on sucking oxygen up and into my lungs in great greedy gobfuls. Once my body starts to calm back down and my head is no longer spinning, I throw a glance at Gidget. She's just standing there, her gaze pointed at the ground, one hand clenched to her chest, her face dark. But when she sees me looking at her, she smiles. A sad smile, but a smile nonetheless. We don't say anything, simply grabbing each other's hands and renewing our forward trek, onward through the trees, past trunk after trunk, coiling brush, branches that cut and scratch at our cheeks and necks, on and on until we reach a clearing. I'm really surprised Genzo did not confess, though. He had, like, so many opportunities, but I guess that's where... I guess he just felt like there was no point. Like, it was just gonna all not really matter. Which, in a sense, kind of true, but it just... We're getting closer. A clearing with a cabin at its center, sitting there quiet and innocuous. We look at each other and then to the cabin. There's something about it that draws me in, like a string leading straight to the door. Gidget must feel it too, because without saying anything, we both start towards it, answering the tug, allowing it to guide us forward. I don't even bother knocking. Ooh, like in the dream. I open the door, walk inside. It's warm and strangely comforting. There's even something cooking atop the stove, filling the air with a delightfully sweet scent. That's not a good thing. Well, I think that in this situation, he knew that confessing would only hurt Iggy. Yeah, that's true too. Like, I remember, like, thinking, I was like, oh, it's definitely gonna happen. And then it's like, oh, okay, it doesn't. I guess he just didn't want to ruin anything. Yeah. Isn't this lovely? Gidget finally says, breaking the silence. A little cabin out in the woods. Yeah. Enjoy it before the axe murder comes. It is nice. I scratch at the back of my neck. Everything seems so familiar somehow. I look around, my gaze jumping from the stove to the table to the bed. Something about the bed sends my insides into a twist, and I shake my head to clear my thoughts, jerking away. Gidget turns her gaze back to me, and she seems to notice my current state for the first time. Oh, Iggy, her eyes cloud. Let me get you cleaned up, okay? She takes my hand softly, gently, leading me to one of the chairs at the table. When she has me seated, she wanders over the little kitchen area and fetches a bucket, already filled with water, and a rag from off the nearby rack. Then she slides into the seat across from me and dips the rag into the water. And she just knew where that was. She starts on my face, simply running the wet rag across my cheek and chin, pressing it against my brow. It feels wonderfully cool, wonderfully calming, and I lean into her touch, needing it, craving it. She moves onto my chest, lifting my shirt up to let the cooling fabric slide across the bloody slit, bisecting me up the middle. She's delightfully gentle in her ministrations, soft, tender pats that sting at first, then give way to the easing coolness. My poor little rabbit. Don't call us that. Her lips tremble as she observes the damage. What did he do to you? She's extra careful around my belly where the blade had gone in the deepest, and she wets the rag again and again, simply holding it against the wound rather than actively wiping, until the caked-on blood finally starts to loosen and blot away. Once finished, she fetches another rag and instructs me to hold it against my belly for a few minutes so it starts to clot. I'll make some tea for you while we wait. You'd like that, wouldn't you? A little tea to heal the spirit? Did you kill Bucks before we got here, Gidget? She smiles and kisses the top of my head before wandering back over to the kitchen area where she begins scrounging around the shelves. I watch her for a moment. And also, we didn't see any dolls. Then let my gaze fall. I lean forward on the table with my chin in my hand, just breathing, taking it all in. At this point, I'm still trying to keep my mind clear. Yes, don't think about it. Don't let your mind wander to it yet. You need to keep it together, and you won't if you succumb to your thoughts. Succumb to the pain. I press my lips together. Conceal, don't feel. Let my eyes flutter closed. I must almost fall asleep because when Gidget places a small mug of tea down next to me, it jerks me backwards with a start. She giggles softly. Here you are. Then sits back down across from me, another mug in her own hands. The tea smells amazing, warm tendrils of sweetness curling up inside my nasal cavity as I breathe it in. And when I wrap my hands around the mug, I feel the heat travel up and across my arms, a comforting warmth. Thank you. I bring it to my lips, take a sip. It tastes good, too. Gidget watches me, smiles. She tilts her head. This is nice, isn't it? Just the two of us, enjoying a little moment like this. I see a tiny touch of pink rise to her cheeks. It feels very domestic somehow. Minus all the blood on you. It does, doesn't it? I take another sip. I can feel the liquid filter down my belly, warming me up from the inside. After everything that happened, I got a bit worried, but I think things will turn out just fine. I guess. She reaches her hand out across the table. So long as we're together. I lift my head to join hers. fingers wrapping around her palm, just relishing in the comfort of her skin. Then try to pull it back. I can't seem to move. I blink, furrow my brows, try again, but I can't seem to make my muscles work. In fact, my whole body seems to be slowing down, lethargic. I don't even notice my other hand slipping down and out of my lap until the mug goes clattering to the floor. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. Gidget is still smiling at me. Yeah, this isn't the good end we're hoping for here, guys. I see her stand up, place my hand gently back in my lap. Don't worry, Iggy. Everything's gonna be fine. I open my mouth to respond, but can't seem to form any words. Instead, my jaw simply goes slack. I'm gonna fix you. Eunuch aside. Wait, what? What's going on? You got the yandere, Iggy. Everything's happening too fast and my brain can't keep up. I let out a low moan as I try to say something, my tongue like a limp worm in my mouth. It's the only way, Iggy. Her face goes suddenly stern and she stomps her foot to the ground with such force. And I like that she had been like holding this back until this point. But something about him confessing his asexuality to her just completely like flipped the switch completely. You see, I just couldn't figure it out. I thought and thought, why would this place do that? Why would it give me everything I want, make it so perfect, but then stop short right at the end? It was making me crazy, Iggy. Why would it do that? After everything I've done, me in the first arc for like, she goes quiet for a moment, eyes dark, before her mouth twitches. But then I figured it out. A laugh. Her face looks different. Her eyes wide, pupils shrunk, and she's giggling. She brings her hands to her cheek. It was a test, a challenge. This place is testing me. It can't just give me everything I need to prove myself. Prove I'm worthy of the ultimate life. It would be too easy otherwise. Girl, don't be entitled. Get you. I finally managed to eke out, though it sounds more like a half-grown than anything else. Because there's no other way, Iggy. No other way it would work. Everything has to be perfect. You don't understand. I've given up too much. It can't all be for nothing. Now her fingers are digging into the skin of her cheeks. I need to be perfect. You need to be perfect. We need to be perfect. You need to make me perfect. Oh, her expressions are really wild this time. Or else everything will fall apart. Her body curls inward. I can hear her breath ragged, see the tears glimmering in her eyes. She takes a moment, just staring at the ground, staring through the ground. Then her arms fall to her sides. She smiles, walks towards me. I'll make this right. You're just broken, that's all. But I can fix you. I can fix us. Stop. Hooks her arms around her neck and around my back. Lifts me from the chair. Queen. My head falls back limply as my arms splay out my sides, like a broken rag doll awaiting salvation. We're gonna be so happy, Eggy. She places me down on the bed, just gazing down at me, her eyes quivering. Just you and me. Our own family, our own perfect life. Then begins to... not Queen. Her face is too silly here for this. She's a queen here, though. Gosh, the Princess Carrie. No, for real. I can only watch in horror as her dress flutters to the floor. Gidget, no. Gidget, please don't. It's me. Now's not the time. Iggy. Oh, this is an interesting place to place it. I try to shake my head, my lips sputtering uselessly. I'm doing this for us, Iggy. She climbs on top of the bed on top of me. Gidget, you don't need to do this. You never needed to change. I was the one who was wrong. I want you to be yourself. Come back, Gidget. Come back, indeed. What do you want, Iggy? Get me out of here. Her hands are on my shirt, lifting it up above my chest. You'll see, Iggy. You'll see how good it is. You'll see how perfect I am. Perfect for you. Your angel. I try to move my lips. They slip and slide against each other uselessly. But I keep trying. I need to make it stop. Make this stop. Bring her back. Bring back the Gidget I know and love. Oh, that's really sad. What do you wish for more than anything else in the world? In the whole world? The fact that this is worse than Bucks killing us. Yeah, actually. The one that triggers the ending. Please reverse everything that happened in this route. Yeah, for real, please, everything. Every single bit of it. Now she's moving lower, her fingers on my fly. Again and again I try to form the words. But always the sound dies on my tongue, an unintelligible hum. What's that, Iggy? I see her tilt her head to the side, gazing down at me lovingly, adoringly. What has this place done to you? What have I done to you? I clench my eyes shut, focusing everything I can on pushing the words out of my throat, across my tongue past my lips. Make it stop. At this, Gidget's brows arc and her look changes to one of confusion. Stop, we can't stop Iggy. This is the only way, don't you see? The only way you can be fixed. But the words are already out. The moment they hit the air, everything was sealed. And in the next moment, the door... Okay. Like, obviously, this is gonna go really bad, but this is a little humorous in a way. Just a little. Gidget whirls around as Bucks walks in the door, and Bucks takes one look at the scene in front of her, her eyes dilating in surprise before stomping towards us. What the fuck are you doing? Bucks, this... I can explain it. Gidget scrambles off the bed, her arms raised in defense. But Bucks just grabs her around the neck and throws her against the far wall. Alright. There's a gut-wrenching snap as she collides with the wood, but you know what? Bucks kind of based this time around. Just a little. Then she's shaking, groaning, trying to crawl away. Bucks, stop. Bucks, please. I can see the tendril blood working. It's kind of sad, though. This is a little sad. Way down her forehead, tracing the curve of her nose. This isn't what you think. We were just... Just what? Breaking into my house, stealing my stuff? I mean, Buck stops over, standing over her, just watching. Then picks Gidget back up as though we were nothing more than a twig, and flings her into the kitchen. Gidget goes flying into the shelves with a crack, dishes and pots and foodstuffs falling in flurried series of clatters. She's wailing now, scream after scream, her shoulder heaving with every throat-wrenched cry. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Bucks is kind of making wild assumptions here, though. I mean, they did break in. Did they steal stuff? Not really. But banging on her bed ain't cool either. No one's right here. No one, except Iggy. Like, and Genzo, R.I.P. But Gidget doesn't stop. She only shrieks louder, and I can see Buck's eyes go positively livid. You never shut up. You never shut up. You never shut up. Oh, no. Her head snaps to the side as she surveys the room. Then she walks over to the stove and snatches up the still hot kettle. I'll make you shut up. I watch her approach Gidget. I would be madder about them getting it on my bed. Yeah, no, for real. How rude. There's a horrendous thud, dull and heavy. Gidget chokes, sputters. Then again. One meaty thwack after the next, again and again, until all I can hear are fleshy smacks interspersed with Buck's ragged breathing. A puddle of blood, deep red, is forming across the floor, seeping out from the kitchen towards the table and bed. It feels like it goes on forever. Gidget's head and face are near unrecognizable, but still Bucks keeps swinging and slamming the kettle. With a final squelch, the edge of the kettle snaps straight through her skull. I see Bucks stop, just staring down at her, then slowly rise to her feet, and then she turns to us. She stands there, her hands, her face, her neck, everything red. Her shoulders are still heaving with every breath and sending the blood on her hands back to the floor in scattered drops. They paint the wood in a rhythmic staccato. Then she must realize something. That we're still here. She turns around, turns towards me, readjusts her grip on the kettle. Whack! I can only watch as she starts over, watch as she peers down at me, head tilted in curious introspection. Watch as she raises the goo-bedecked kettle back on over her head. It's okay. I knew this was coming. I knew it as soon as the words left my mouth, and I'm fine with it. I just want it to end. I want all of this to end me. Yeah. Goodbye, Iggy. Buck said. Wait, she said something to us this time. Wow, alright. Then brings the kettle down on my head. And that was Arc 4, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop, whoop. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty solid. It was better than Arc 3. I liked all the new stuff towards the beginning. R.I.P. Genzo again. That was really sad. I do really like the subversion of, like, it's not just us eating... Oh, and not us just eating him, but also eating him and then seeing him in, like, even in a worse spot. Like, holy shit. And yeah, oh my god, I can't believe we're in Arc 5. How far we've come. Ironically, like, Gidget was pretty chill up until the confession, which is not boding well for the future, though. Because it's like, was she just feeling that way because it was in Wonderland? Was it because he took too long to confess, which I think is stupid anyway? Like, she should just accept it no matter when he says it. Because, like, I want to believe that they could... But we're in Arc 5, and Arc 5 is when, you know, it's towards the ending. So, you know, hopefully a lot of good work happens. I did, like... I just liked a lot of moments. There was a lot of fun scenes. I liked all the flashbacks, of course. I did like the messiness of the love triangle from hell. I like Cecil, RP Cecil. He didn't come out unscathed. No Jerry. I'm just joking, I'm joking. But like, the music was banger. I just had a good time. I really liked Arc 4. I liked it a lot. Obviously, you know, anytime we see Genzo just suffer, it's just no fun at all. Oh, wait. Actually, Joy. Oh, do I have to go back? This is ominous. Look at the music, too. I think it's recommended to play. Oh! Really? Really? Okay. I didn't realize it was in the canon. I always just assumed it was like a side fun game. Is it because it was made before Arc 5 started? Oh, okay. But it introduces a character. Oh, okay. It's like, I'm like, oh, okay, okay. I really like Gidget still, though. I know that's really weird to say, but it's just like, she has all the makings to be a good person and a good character, and I do like her dynamic with Iggy a lot, and I do believe that Iggy really does genuinely love her, and like, I just wish for the best for them, but obviously there's a lot of work that's got to get done with Gidget before she's capable of doing that. I'm sorry, Gidget, yeah. I couldn't make you happy. No, it's alright, babe. It's okay. Making the Wonderland Gidget happy must be an impossible task. And their appearance is just kind of sudden if you don't play it. Oh, okay. Happy? Happy. Yes, I need to make her happy. I need to make all of them happy. I need to... For a single moment I remain peaceful, blissfully calm within the darkness of my eyelids. Then within a jerk that nearly bends my spine in half, I sit up. Straight up. Every joint, every muscle, every fiber of my body is ramrod straight. And my heart? My fucking heart. I can feel it in my fingers, my ears, my heads, my eyes. So did Arc 4 not have like a choice that leads to like a different ending or not? Because it's like Arc 3 had the good or the bad ending, which is like good ending is you go full evil with Orlam, and then I assume bad ending is he just kills us. Yes, it's understandable they could just work just post Arc 5. I can feel it in my fingers, my ears, my head, my eyes, then come to the nausea. Okay, so Iggy, this time around, you just gotta talk to Hunar, you gotta talk to Genzo, you gotta talk to Orlam, and you gotta talk to Gidget before you go in, and then you'll be golden. Then we'll be great. Oh, I forget. I guess there might not have been. Yeah, it didn't seem like there was. I was kind of waiting for a point where there would be like a split, but I guess it didn't need to have one. Erupting. So fast I almost don't catch it. I slap a hand to my mouth, trying desperately to hold it in. We still got a little bit more time before I usually end stream, so I think I'm going to get to where it says Arc 5. Try desperately to hold it in as I stumble from the bed and race towards the bathroom. I barely make it. Half slipping on the tiles, I wrench open the toilet seat and plunge my head inside. When you think about it more so than the others, Arc 4 doesn't have a good ending with the love interest. No, not really. Which, that makes sense. Like, I don't know. Something about that kind of works for me. Like, especially after her outburst. I feel like if she didn't have that outburst, it would be a lot easier for me, or like a lot harder for me to like not feel sad about the ending. But since she kind of just like went off the fucking deep end, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this girl, there's nothing we can do. And the other, Iggy is at least on good terms with Genzo and Orlam. That's true. If the ending itself is tragic. Ironic that was the most romantic, though. I mean, he did seem to be, like, on good terms with Gidget before she, like, kept pushing and pushing. Like, he was open to, like, still being with her. He was open to whatever. And, like, he was, like, warming up to her. But she just keeps pushing. She keeps asking for too much that he's willing to give. Then it's spilling out in heavy gasps that make my head thrum. So much it's like I'm ejecting everything inside of me. My fingers shake through the porcelain, holding it so tightly the muscles bulge, and tears and snot dribble down my chin to join the goopy saliva ridden muck. Once the convulsions finally die down, I let myself fall back. My tailbone collides angrily with the grout. I'm shivering now. I can feel things. My arm is gone. My leg. Numbing shocks all over my body. Red filling up my eyes. Oh, God, the sensations come all at once and all over, to the point that I have to curl in on myself, face buried in my knees to keep me from screaming, but the noise still does escape, like a throaty, desperate hum on my lips. My heart feels like it's being ripped in two again and again and again. Ugh, sense of hopelessness. I see them. I see all of them. Every horrific detail. In pain, agony, dying again and again and again. I bring my hand to my eyes, trying to block out the images, but nothing stops them. Nothing stops the visceral sensations of despair digging into my skin. Oh god, this is probably the worst thing that's happened so far. This is awful. Threatening to rip me open, I remember. I remember. Fuck, I remember everything. Yeah, that's... That right there was probably one of the hardest things to, like, stomach. Like, I can't even imagine, like, experiencing... Because he said hundreds of times he's gone in here in the last bit, and, like, he's, like, experiencing all of it all at once, and that's insane and scary. Like, I feel so bad for him, poor thing. But we in the end game, fellas. Poor baby Iggy. Ooh. Once upon... I just want to see where this goes. I'm not going to play for too long. Once upon a time, there was a tree that could grant wishes. People would come to the tree and ask for their heart's desires. The wishes nourished the tree, and the tree would grant them. For the tree loved them. The tree loved everyone. It's the giving tree, but worse. And they shaped the tree's world. But people began to take the wishes for granted. They grew jealous and bitter. They began asking for more and more things. For horrible things. It really is the giving tree, isn't it? No longer did their wishes nourish the tree. They hurt and twisted the tree. Oh, that makes sense. Distorting the world it had created. Heartbroken, the tree cast everyone away, vowing that it would never trust anyone again. Fair. People suck. And that's why it only lets the innocent in. However, the tree grew lonely. It missed caring for people. It missed the joy and laughter. It missed the taste of their wishes. I will only allow this with pure and innocent hearts to enter my world, the tree thought to itself. Smart tree! And so it waited, and waited, and waited, until one day, it found them. Oh, the little bucks, and little Genzo, and little Orlov, and then a Iggy, and then a Gidget. The tree was happy again. So happy. Its new children fed it in the most delicious wishes, innocent and pure. They reshaped the tree's world, helped it grow strong again, turned it back into the land of joy and hope. And the tree cared for them, watched them grow, tried to make them happy, trusted them. Until they became nasty little adults. But children grow up, yeah. I love these little chalk drawings. And one by one... they lost their innocence. I wonder if that was in the actual order that they lost their innocence. Or am I being too... the tree fell into despair, casting them out before they could corrupt its world once more. It felt betrayed. Betrayed by its children. Betrayed by everyone. It sealed itself away. Bitter. Desolate. Hungry. For hundreds and hundreds of years, its appetite grew. One wish. That was all it needed. That was all it craved. One single wish to make it whole again. The purest, most innocent wish of all. Sadie's wish? Can Sadie make a wish? Orlam, Genzo, Bucks, Gidget, then Genzo. Iggy, I mean. It's recommended that you play the side game, okay, Our Fantastic Wonderland before playing the final arc. Though not a requirement, some references, in particular a certain character's role, could be confusing otherwise. The link above will take you direct... Well, we will do that, because I think that will be a nice, fun break, you know, from this, and then we could jump into Arc 5. I mean, this Thursday is the designated, our Wonderland spot anyway, so... I'm more than happy to do that. I'm actually really excited now because I see it, and I've been waiting to save all the side games for like the very end, but I guess it'll just be like the shorter, more slice of life side games, and so we'll do our Fantastic Wonderland next Thursday. I think that'll be really fun because I want to get the full context. I want to play in the way that it was meant, and then it'll give me like a little like break time from the main story for a little bit. I think that'll be fun. So once I get to here, we'll go back to the main menu. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Oh, little Sadie. Gosh. I'm so excited. Oh, we're in Arc 5, guys! I can't believe it! I can't believe we, like, did all of Arc 4 in this stream. Like, I thought a part of me would, it's like, oh, this might take a little bit longer, but no, we did it! We did it! And I really liked it. Everybody was like, oh, you're gonna feel so sad. Look, guys, I've toughened up, alright? I'll say that. I've toughened up. After the end of Act 1, I was like, alright. And to me, and I know this sounds crazy, but the end of Act 1 has been the most devastating thing for me that this game has done to me yet. And I can't explain that properly. Now, the thing that comes second to that is Genzo's just sad pining. Like, that always makes me sad, and thinking about what, like, even though we never see it, it's just my brain coming up with all the sad things he thinks and what he does, and, you know, like, that's what makes me really numb and sad. Yeah, I'm just numb now. It's like, whatever. So I'm like, I dig into the parts that are fun, and when things go bad, I'm like, par for the course. But since we're in Arc 5 now, I'm hoping that, you know, we could work towards something happier, or at least neutral. I'll settle for that. I'll settle for something a little gray, because life isn't perfect. It's okay if it doesn't end in this, like, happily ever after. There's still real people. They're still gonna have issues, you know, but I want them to get on a good foot and have the capacity to do better. You know, that's what I want. That's all I can hope for. No. But I have full faith in Carrot's abilities to write satisfying endings, you know, and I'm excited for everything else. Like, I had a great time. I really liked Arc 4. I see why a lot of people really like it, because it's just, like, it's very cinematic. It's so fun seeing all the characters bounce off of each other, and things are getting more and more revealed, and I'm excited for more reveals, even though they're just gonna make me sad, but, you know, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. That's what we signed up for. We signed up for sad in this house. But I had a great time. I really did. I'm excited to listen back to the VOD and, like, sit with some of the stuff a little bit longer, because I do feel a little just kind of like, oh, okay, that all happened. And then I'm like, now we're here. It happened very quickly. That start scene, though, with Iggy experiencing all that, it's just so sad. Poor baby. Like, but maybe that's what he needs. That's what he needs to beat it once and for all, you know? But gosh, what a stream. What an arc. What a time. Love Gidget still. Gonna defend Gidget to my dying breath. I'm a Gidget stan. Genzo's still my favorite love interest. Orlam is definitely my least favorite love interest. Though I love Orlam. I love seeing him on screen. He's a really fun character every time he's there. And he's, like, such an essential part of the group. And I would love to learn more about Buck so I don't hate her so much. Or at least, I don't know, have fun with her as, like, a villain or, like, an anti-hero or something. I don't know what kind of role she's gonna play, so I'm open to it, though. I'm open to loving everybody. Same ranking as you. Well, I think it maybe in some sense it's meant to be that way, you know? Because Carrot, like, obviously, like, Genzo never is corrupted by our Wonderland, so I think for most people he's supposed to be the character you're supposed to like the most. And then, like, maybe some people might be split on Gidget. She's very polarizing, I can imagine. But I think I'm just so sympathetic towards what her character is building to. And, like, I'm very sympathetic to Orlam's as well, but unfortunately it's one of those things where we just don't really get to see him enough, like, just in a human sense. I don't know. I would like more flashbacks with Orlam, like we had in Act 3. I think a lot of people's favorites Orlam, actually. I know where that comes from. It's like the Tumblr sexy man thing. I'm sorry. Orlam is Tumblr sexy man coded, and I get it. Like, he's cute, he's fun, I like him, and he is, like, a fun villain and all that, but, as him and Iggy together, though, like, as love interest, I don't know if he, like, they're alright. I like them, but they're not, like, it doesn't feel like Gidget and Iggy feel. It doesn't feel like Genzo and Iggy feels to me yet. But that could change, And I did read the most, like, recent devlog that Carrot did about how Arc 5 is going to be structured, at least the finale of it, and I thought that was really interesting, like, that they're going to all get their own, like, epilogues and stuff, so I'm really excited. I'm open. I like them all, so I really can't go wrong here. It's just, if I was ranking, that would be my favorite to least favorite in terms of just romantic attraction and all that. I think Orlam X therapy is what I would ship. The extensive long-term therapy. And Gidget I would ship with Consent 101 and Feminism 101 and Gender Studies. And then Genzo and Iggy, just period. Oh, I think that's just in general popularity. I don't know for Iggy specifically. And I agree, Orlam and Iggy's relationship feels very platonic. Yeah, and I think I sort of prefer it to be more platonic, honestly, because I think Orlam Orlum and Iggy just don't feel compatible to me because Orlum's like sex, 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 and then Iggy's like obviously not that. And there's more beyond that, but I would want Orlum to experience his sexuality in a healthy way in the real world, with somebody who could provide him with that. And I don't know. I want to learn more about him. I to form more thoughts. I'm definitely still open to them having a romantic thing for sure. I mean, one good scene can make me go, oh, Team Orlum for sure now. But just as it stands right now, I'm kind of like, Genzi girlhood. Yes, he needs a friend for sure. But Genzo is still, yeah. I'm as just like a romance person. I think that's where that's at. All right, so let me mute the desktop audio here, and let's move to my end screen. We've got new things for my end screen today to end because I have things I need to promote. So outside of just playing indie games, obviously I still am an indie visual novel developer, and now I host 2 jams this year. Very fun. And the first jam, in order of like when they come out basically, is Chat Sim Jam, which is starts March 15th and moves to May 15th. And if you're familiar with like Blooming Panic or, like any other jam, like Error 147, I think, can you tell I've played a lot of chat sims? I know that Carrot has actually made some side games that are chat sims as well, so I'm really excited for that as well. And I wish that they were like making Arc 5 so they could make another one for this jam, but not to be greedy. I just, more Our Wonderland is always a good thing. And I'm sorry, the crinkling of my water bottle is probably the worst. So we've got that. Good time. And then we have Josei After Dark, which is an NSFW jam targeted towards specifically women, and I'm very excited about it, running it with... Oh, I should have said that Chat Sim is run with Rotten Teeth and Max, good friends of mine, and Josei After Dark is ran with Lacey Digital, myself, and Snacks. So... we're really excited, and it starts July 31st to Halloween. So we get to celebrate November all with some nice, spicy female romance games, which I'm more than excited. Can you tell I'm not used to plugging things? I'm trying to make it natural, like, oh yeah, I've done this before. And it's like not. But those are the jams we're running. If you're interested, participate. If not, don't. Okay, and then my schedule, which is the same pretty much as always, except our Wonderland spot will now be our Fantastic Wonderland for next week, and we'll be doing Travelers and Tales tomorrow by Gray. Really loving it. I think we might be able to finish the game next stream, maybe? Tomorrow? I don't know. Saturday, I'm going to be writing fan fiction, and I know this is going to sound, it's kind of a little misleading because I'm not going to be writing like actual fan fiction. I'm going to be writing like side fics of my own stuff. So I'm planning on writing like a Chris and Shay fic based off of one of the artworks that Nayuki has made for me, because I've been meaning to do that, and I've been wanting to write and practice, and I think writing on stream could be interesting, so I want to see how it goes. So if you guys have something you want to write during that time, that might be a good stream for you to stop by and join. I don't think I'll be able to participate in either of those, but I hope you get so many entries. It's okay, don't worry. There's so many jams this year too. They just keep popping up out of nowhere, so I don't blame anybody for like having to prioritize very specific ones. Like I can't make anything for Chat Sim Jam personally, even though I would love to. But I hope to make something for Josei After Dark. The Bunny Chris. Oh yeah! I won't be making a fanfic about that particular one, but the one where Chris has a pet, like a plush bunny that Shay got him, is what I'm planning on working on for Saturday's stream. So hope you can drop by. And then it'll be more Dragon Age Origins on Sunday, and it won't be as miserable as last week because I finished the Mage Tower. Yippee! So we're standing really good this week, and I'm so excited for our Fantastic Wonderland. I don't know if it's gonna still have like heavy shit in it, or if it's gonna be like more fun fan servicey or not. Either way, I'm so down. Just seeing the characters interact and do things is really fun for me, so I think I'm gonna have a good time regardless. And I don't know how many streams it's gonna take to actually finish that, but we'll just go until we can't no more. It's Beef Forbidden Hours on my Sunday, so I hope I'm there. Look, again, Forbidden Hours, you're never required to show up. I appreciate when you guys show up the stream, but I'm never like mad at you guys if you don't, because obviously you have a life, and I stream later after work because that's what is convenient for me, but it is not convenient for everybody. But I always have my VODs up, and I always have them uploaded to YouTube, so if you ever fall behind, just catch up while you're doing other things one day. It ain't no biggie. it's like 75% fun fan service and 25% plot. Yes, let's go! But that's much lighter overall. I cannot wait. That sounds great. It won't really be a trauma Thursday for a little bit then, but I'm still excited. I think that's what I need, because Act 4 was pretty heavy, I'm not gonna lie. That scene with Genzo probably was one of the heavier scenes in the entire game so far, even though I was just kind of like numb. I'm just like numb, you know? I was like, but like, I want to go there. Yo, fan service. Yeah! I'm so excited. But that's pretty much it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow and the next day. I'm getting rid of the wrong ones. Whoops. I know what I'm doing. Give me a second. On my end screen. Lord. But I appreciate you guys dropping by and being here with me through Act 4. I needed the moral support and I got it, and I always appreciate that. I had a great time. I'm excited to read Carrot's comments on the VOD tomorrow, so I'll have that uploaded for them. And I'm excited for our Fantastic Wonderland. I can't wait. I wish it was already next week, because I just love playing this game, man. I just want to keep playing it. I want to play Arc 5 right now. I want to keep going, but I gotta wait. I gotta be patient, okay? And it'll be waiting for me. It'll be waiting. So, again, thank you guys as always, and that's pretty much it for me for today. So, I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, same place. It's a date? Eh? If not, have a good rest of your night. Have a good time zone. Bye-bye!